everybody, and welcome to the SoxProspects.com podcast, the web's number one source for information on the Boston Red Sox from top to bottom, from Fort Myers to Worcester, across the Pike to Fenway, and all stops in between. Thank you all for listening. My name is Chris Hatfield. I'm the executive editor of Sox Prospects. This is Ian Kundle. He is our director of scouting. It is Sunday, August the 10th, as we record this. Ian, you just got done with basically a week in Worcester. You saw, what, 5 games this week? 4 games?
4 games.
4 games. All right,
yeah.
Close to a week. 2/3 of a week.
It's an old school series.
It was how is it an old school series?
In the sense that when they used to play 3 or 4 game series and then go to another city. Like the pre-schedule before.
So you mean by the fact that you saw 4 games?
Yeah.
Got
it's like an old school series.
I thought you were saying they switched up because they actually did the half and half on the 4th this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It was like the old, 3-4 game series they used to do whenever was that pre-COVID before they switched the schedule.
Yeah, I honestly, I think AAA should go back to the old schedule, by the way. We can have a long off-season discussion of ways we would fix the minor leagues, but I think AAA needs to go back to the regular schedule to prepare guys for the majors better.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, I think it needs to go back to the old schedule in AAA. But anyways, we'll talk about that on a later episode. We have plenty to talk about this episode. We've got the Roman Anthony extension. We've got Ian's adventures at Polar Park. And we've got your emails. Again, if you want to email us, it's podcast@soxprospects.com. But before we go any further, a couple of preliminaries. First, spread the word about the show. Tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell the nice folks you meet at your dog's agility class. With their dogs when you're off to the side, making sure yours doesn't freak out because she's a Chihuahua, and Chihuahuas, if they were larger, would be in the zoo. You can help by rating or reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever it is that you listen. And we thank you all again for your support on our donation drive. If you want to help support the show, you can support us on patreon.com/SoxProspects to get some sweet perks for your support of the show. And you can also support us on SoxProspects.com/donate. Ian, shall we jump right into it? As much as I want to talk about my dog at agility class, remind me to send you the video of her jumping. It's fun.
All right.
It's pretty great. She's my little athlete, and I love it. Roman Anthony got paid. Best news I got all week, I think. For you, week, month, where does it fit on your best news you've received in a certain amount of time scale?
For the Red Sox, it's a very big piece of news. So I was
say the thing.
What? Oh, I said it. I said it on Twitter.
You said it on Twitter. Say it here. Though,
yeah, I said it was a good piece of business.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I had to say. I think that's all I said. Actually,
it is.
I literally think that was. I'm trying to looking back. I think that was the only thing I said about it.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
So, there's nothing else to say. I mean, like, I'm shocked it got done. And I give Craig Breslow and them a ton of credit for getting it done.
So what did it wind up being for a first-year player? I think it's the second biggest to Julio, right?
Yeah, but it's like Julio's is weird because Julio's is longer. That's the only reason it's bigger.
It's 11 years.
In terms of AAV, it's the biggest, I believe.
Because Julio's is so like incentive based.
Julio's is like 13 years or something, but it's like,
Well, it's 11 to 13, but what he makes is almost based entirely on what he does. Like, yeah. It can be
whereas Anthony's is like what 16.
Well, Anthony's is 130 million over 8 years, but it can add another like 100 million based on incentives.
It's really because let's be honest, they're picking up almost certainly going to be assuming he's the player that everyone thinks he is in 9 years. They will be picking up the $30 million option. So really, it's
no question. Yeah,
it's really 160.
Well, and then if he's the player everybody thinks he is, he's going to hit a bunch of those incentives too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we know specifically what they are, but it's things like
they're all tied into like MVPs, all-star appearances, rookie. Oh, there's a decent amount tied into him finishing in the rookie of the year top 2, which to be honest, I think that was the impetus for this.
Oh yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about that?
Well, because
I think people don't quite get it still.
So if Roman Anthony finished top 2 in the rookie of the year voting, he was going to get a full year of service time, regardless of when he came up. It happened with Paul Skeens last year. And when the Red Sox called
let's pause because the upshot of that is that he was going to hit free agency a year sooner.
Correct. So you basically would have 5 years of control after this year only
instead of 6. Exactly.
Yes.
Continue.
And when Roman Anthony got called up, it seemed it seemed unlikely because Jacob Wilson was playing really well, Cam Smith was playing really well, Narvaez was playing well, Nick Kurtz had been called up and wasn't doing his thing yet, but he was playing well. So it seemed like it'd be a stretch because I think the latest anyone had ever been called up to finish top two in rookie of the year was Michael Harris, and I want to say it was like the end of May.
And that was a
So
super weak class, if I remember.
yes, so like it seemed like it would be okay, but in the meantime, since Roman Anthony got called up, Jacob Wilson cratered and then got hurt and now is injured and he hasn't played in like a month. Cam Smith has been awful since like the All-Star break. I don't think he has a hit. He does, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And Nick Kurtz has turned into the best hitter in baseball. And Narvaez has really struggled at the plate. And so the end result is, and I if you look at the gambling odds, which I think they are useful in this regard, which is because this is, a probability that he finishes in the top two. He's the second favorite right now for rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And so it's like
behind Kurtz, I presume.
Well, Kurtz is going to win it. Kurtz is miles ahead of everyone, but Kurtz is going to win it
for longer. And
I mean, he also has like 23 home runs and an OPS over 1,000. So.
Yeah. If Anthony were hitting for power, it might be different, but he's just not yet, and it's fine. Like I'm not worried about it.
But the thing is, he's going to finish with like a 3 WAR season in 90 games or whatever. So he's going to probably finish second. And if he finished second, they were going to lose a year. So I think that sped things up and made them more willing to get to a number that maybe they wouldn't have been willing to this offseason. And I think that what changed from Anthony's side, because he talks about it in camp, like he was kind of chilling, he was fine with it. If you're a 21-year-old and you get offered a deal that can end up in the $200+ million range, like why not?
They did. And the thing that I'm encouraged by is it seems like from the outside, I don't know this to be true or not true, and correct me if the reporting has been any different. They didn't pussyfoot around it and just offer this or offer that. And I heard
it took like 3 days or something. Yeah. Alex Beer had a really good article breaking down and it was like, credit to them. No one knew about this.
No, like Breslow's camp is very good.
Because it was basically
letting anyone know something.
Alex's article said it was basically Breslow, Taboni, and ownership, and that was it. Mm-hmm. It was just this was like stealth moves and his agents, obviously. But I mean, I think from Roman Anthony's perspective, it's the biggest pre-R or second biggest, I guess, technically pre-R deal or 1 year of service time deal ever. Like that was what it was going to take. That was kind of what we talked about this offseason. I'm sure he would listen. It would just have to be an insane number. And the Red Sox were willing to go to that number. Like they got to something that is, generational wealth for him, his family, and multiple generations. And he's still going to hit free agency at 30. So I think it's a win-win.
He's going to get paid. And look, Rob Bradford made a great point on a radio hit that he did. I presume it was radio. Of like going back to the story of Mookie Betts saying one of the hardest things he ever had to do was turn down that first extension offer they made him, and just looking at that amount of money and like very nearly signing it because it's just like you just see all those damn zeros, right? And I think you only have one opportunity to make a rookie like Anthony his first long-term extension offer. Because once you make a second offer and it goes up, it could keep going up, right? Like it doesn't need to, like, who knows how high they're going to go. But the first time you see it, it's the first time to really blow someone away and say, look, we're trying to get this done. We're trying to not mess around. Here's the contract. It's fair. And to not be like just selling them selling them used goods. To actually be saying, like, this is a fair contract for what you are right now. We believe in you, and that's why it's as big as it is. Obviously, there's something in it for us if you turn into what we think you are, but there's also something in it for you. You only have one opportunity to make that deal. It's something I deal with every day at my day job, right? Like, this is like, you only have one opportunity to make that first offer. And then after that, it's just different. And I think that they took the opportunity to make a legit first offer that brought him to the table. Yeah. And that's good for them for doing that.
I agree. And I also think that the timing was smart on their part. They did it when the Red Sox are going great. Vibes are super high. Yeah. Roman Anthony's clearly having a great time playing baseball. He's got a taste of Boston and what it's like to be the big fish in the city.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Like, he's gallivanting around in Nantucket and other places. Like he's getting comfortable in Boston.
I'm down here. I'm kind of removed from it.
I believe I've seen it on Red Sox Twitter. That's the only reason I know about
Okay.
it. But yeah, it was like just a perfect time to it's almost to just be like play his emotions and be like, look, this is what it's like in here when the Red Sox are winning. You can be a part of this for the next 9 years, and we're also
Sure.
going to give you the biggest or second biggest pre-arb deal ever, or pre 1 year of service time deal
First
ever.
year.
Like,
First year
thank you.
deal. Yeah.
Um, which, yeah, I mean, when you combine all those things, I think it was just the perfect storm. But I think, and we've obviously been critical of Craig Breslow on here. I do think he deserves credit for a lot of the things he's done. I think that
We
some of
give
the
him credit
moves,
where it's been due to.
yeah, no, I know, but I think with the Anthony thing, I still think you can, the timing is weird. I still think he should have given him been a
They
much better
botched the
chance of
call up.
making.
Yes, I still
Yeah.
say that. And there are people who
But
the people who are fine with him having been. I think the people who say that they deserve criticism for not having a plan to call him up, I think have been shown to have been correct.
100%. And it should have been something that they addressed in the offseason because there's a reason Jackson Churio broke camp. Like all these guys of his caliber break camp with the team.
Yep.
But the fact that they recognized and they didn't wait around, I give them credit for because, like, as you said, it gets a whole lot easier to turn these things down the closer it gets to free agency. It's the same thing with the Crochet deal. Imagine they didn't have Crochet extended right now.
Oh, we'd
there's
be
no way
freaking out.
There's no way you're signing him to an extension now because he's a year away from getting 300 million. So it's like,
yeah,
these deals, and even if like Anthony just turns into a solid regular, it's still going to be a perfectly fine contract. There's no risk there, and I think I don't. I mean, I get it, but I get why this has been the case. But it's just been wild to me hearing people trying to like find fault with the deal, and it's like
it's wild.
It doesn't make sense to me. These are. For the player's perspective, he's generational wealthy. From the team perspective, they locked in a young core player at a really good number. It's a win-win for everyone. And even if the contract doesn't work out, it's a $16 million AAV for the Red Sox. Like, whatever. And good for Roman Anthony then. He's set up for life. So it's just, right. I just find it hard to, it's hard time finding anything wrong with this. And I don't think just because Roman Anthony was willing to take a deal now, it means that, he's not as confident in his abilities or anything. I think it's what you mentioned earlier, it's hard to turn down 9-figure offers when you're 21 years old.
I mean, it's like you said, it's generational wealth, and he still becomes a free agent at 30. Like he's still going to get another 8 to 10 year deal because he's so young.
Yeah.
Like when you debut at 21, yes, go sign the 9-year deal because you're still going to get paid at 30. He's still going to get a bag. Like, if he became a free agent, let's say he became a free agent. When would he have become a free agent instead? Say he second rookie of the year. He
30?
No.
30.
Because he
No,
would have
30.
had 5 more years after this. It would have been 26, 27. Right?
2031.
Right, but no, I'm saying he would have been 26 or 27. I'm saying how old he would.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. I thought you meant
not
that
2030.
No, I was going
being
by
30
the year.
years old, he would have been 26 or 27, whatever it is.
Sorry, right? I was talking about the year.
Yeah, I know. It's 26 or 27. Like he's still getting that same deal at 30. Like he's not like maybe at 26 or 27 he gets like God, what the money's going to be at that point? Is it going to be 600 million? Like for him or something in the best case scenario. But like if he becomes a free agent at 30, I'm sure the money is offset by what he's going to be making under this deal. Yeah. So like, I think it makes sense for him financially as well.
Well, and I think another thing that I saw was people saying that, the top players just bet in themselves and go year to year. That was definitely the truth in the past. That's not the case anymore. You don't need to look any further than the free agent classes and look at who signed extensions. Just going to rattle off a few names off the top of my head. Corbin Carroll, Julio Rodriguez, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, Ronald Acuna, Julio. Like, all the
Michael
top
Harris,
young guys. Michael Harris,
everyone who plays for the
Braves. It's all the Braves, Austin Riley. But I'm just thinking of like outfielders. Like I think Carroll and Jackson Merrill are the two, and Julio are the 3 closest comps of terms of like caliber of prospect they all extended within their first year or two. Bobby Witt was the big one I was forgetting. Mm-hmm. All these guys signed extensions because that's what players do now. Like that they don't. The number of players who play it out to free agency is very small, and just look at the free agent classes and you can see what has happened. And you look at like this year's class, the only marquee one, in my opinion, is Kyle Tucker. And he played it year to year. He was the only one. You look at next year's free agent class. it was, well, I guess Vladdy was supposed to be there. Vladdy's gone now. But the guys after next year, there's nothing. It's like Ronald Acuna, I guess, is finally up, but he's got club options that are all going to get picked up.
Oh, and
Like,
by the way, Ronald Acuna is exactly why you signed this deal.
yeah. So
Like,
it's just
because of the injuries he's suffering.
yeah. I mean, like here's the 2026. So we already know this year's free agent class, but the best guys after next year are literally taking out club options. It's like Pete Alonso if he keeps getting 1 year deals, maybe Bregman if he doesn't opt out this year but opts out after next year. Like position player wise, the best true free agents are Cody Bellinger, J.P. Crawford, Brandon Lau, Rise Hoskins. Like there's just nothing because all the position players sign extensions now. And so this is the norm. This is not the outlier. The number of Juan Soto, Kyle Tuckers that bet on themselves is way lower than the number who take extensions now. And so this is just the Red Sox doing what they should have been doing with Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, et cetera, is you sign these guys earlier, you get them for their peak. And if you let them pay free agency at 30, 31, that's fine. You either then figure it out and keep them or you let them walk. That's a much better outcome than, waiting it out and having to pay them more to pay them later on in their careers, but maybe you don't want those years. So yeah, this is how baseball is played now. This is what teams should be doing, and the Red Sox are catching up with the times, and they've done a great job the last couple of years locking up their young core.
Yep. On a similar note, I am a little disappointed that Alex Bregman said he doesn't want to negotiate until the offseason.
Oh, I don't blame him. He's going to have so much leverage in the offseason.
I don't blame him either, but that was the other guy that I was like, just get that done. Don't even wait till the offseason. Don't even give him the opportunity to think about the opt-out.
I mean,
I get why he doesn't want to. I completely get why he doesn't want to, but I would have loved for them to come in and just be like, look, like, what is it going to take to get this done right now?
I feel like what's going to end up happening there is he's not going to opt out. They're just going to tack years on to the end of that deal.
Well, to me, I think that's what that's what the negotiation should be.
We'll give you the next 280.
Take the opt-outs out of this deal and tack a couple years on at the same AAV. And
no, I wouldn't want the same AAV.
Maybe not the same AAV, but like the deal you would have gotten last year.
No, it's like so he got 120. You tack on an extra, 4 years, 120 million to that or something.
I wasn't thinking 4 years, and that's why. Okay, I was thinking like 2 years at the same AAV, and then maybe if you want to tack on.
But if he's going to want like 4 years though, he wanted 7 last offseason or 8,
and he got 3.
He probably so let's say 3. You probably tack on another 390, like 3 years at 30, like something like that. I feel like where it's going to.
And it brings his AAV down, which is great.
But it's just there's just like building like pitchers are a different story because teams are obviously not as willing to extend pitchers. But for position players, all the top young guys are signed up, and now the Red Sox are joining that group, and that's where they should be with guys like of the caliber of Roman Anthony.
Yeah. Yep.
A question I have a few people have asked me, and I'm curious your thoughts. Would you approach Marcelo Mayer for an extension?
We have an email about this.
Do we?
Should I just read the email?
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, by the way.
No. I almost threw that in here knowing that the email was there. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, it's going to take a second for this to load. The email is from Brendan, and Brendan said, I'm curious to know how you would approach a potential extension for Marcelo Mayer. Would you leverage his recent injury history to try for a relatively team-friendly deal, or would you prefer to see him show some health before locking him up at all? I am in the latter group. Personally. You're on mute.
Same. I would not extend him right now.
I wouldn't either. I
don't think there's a number that can make sense for both sides.
Exactly.
Like if I'm the Red Sox, I'm offering him the Christian Campbell deal, and if I'm Marcelo Mayer, I'm saying no.
And both of those positions make perfect sense.
Exactly. So I don't think I need to see health from him.
Yeah, and it's look like we're still in the area where this could all be fluky, right?
Yeah.
It could all just be fluke stuff. But we're also in the area now where you have to, if you are the team, be worried about it. Yeah. I think going into next year, he should be penciled into one of the starting middle infield spots. I also think that it would be malpractice to not have a very good plan B for when he inevitably misses a month or two.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I don't want to say that, right? Like I want
but this
to
is
be
what,
happy
4 straight
and high
years?
on everybody.
This is 4 straight years, right?
4 straight years with an injury that has cost him at least a month.
And it's going to be, I mean, I'm realistically, I don't think he's going to play again this year.
I don't think he is either. Why
That
would you
would
push it?
be 3 straight years that his season has ended early.
Yes. Yeah. Because he came back from the wrist the first time around.
Yeah. It's because he was last year, he didn't play again after August 13th.
And the year before, he got injured in May, tried to play through it, and then got
And
shut
then he
down
went
in
on the injured
August.
list in early August and didn't play again. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's tough. I feel bad for him too because
Oh, I feel terrible.
they also really need him right now. Their second
It,
base against righties is a problem.
yeah, we can
Because
talk
it's
about that a little bit, but
well, they're running into the issue where Romy Gonzalez should probably just play every day. The problem is they need him to play every day at first and second
yeah.
because they don't have another option for either of those spots.
Do you
Who's
want to talk
viable?
about that? Because that'll lead us into Worcester, I think.
Sure. I mean, we talked about a little bit on the trade deadline thing, but it's just so perplexing to me that they weren't more interested in a first baseman because
Yeah. We have
Abraham
an email
Toro,
about that we
it,
can wait to get to in emails, but like I'm with this.
Toro's been awful for the last like month plus,
Oh, more than a
and
month. He's
more
been
than
he's been very ordinary for a while. He's turned back into look, Abraham Toro has been the best conceivable version of what Abraham Toro could be. Not literally him specifically, but like that player as the break glass in case of emergency, injury replacement who comes up and gets pressed into starting duty. Like you could not have asked for any more than what you've gotten out of Abraham Toro. That said, it's time to move on. Like
yeah, I mean, it's basically he's been bad since the beginning of June. Since June 9th, he's hitting 203, 282, OBP 281 slug with 2 home runs, and his defense isn't very good either.
yeah,
That's
like
just
that's
not.
why he moves when Romy Gonzalez comes in, which is weird, but
But it's just not. That's not. You can't have that
it's not
production
tenable.
from a strong side of a platoon,
No, no.
and
So
it's
Romy
just
Gonzalez needs to be playing every day, which is not what you want either.
no. But then the problem is also with Meyer hurt, Romy Gonzalez probably should be playing every day at second base because David Hamilton just can't hit still,
Yeah,
and it's surprising that they didn't address those positions, but and at the same time, I wonder if they're just waiting for Justinson Garcia, and I don't love that might be the solution. But
I think it's the best
after,
solution they have.
yeah,
If he
I
takes to
mean,
it defensively, it is the best solution they have.
after seeing them for 4 days, I'd rather have him up than Christian Campbell.
Talk about why.
Christian
What
Campbell's
did you
tough.
see out of him? Yeah.
It's he's in a weird spot because it's better than he was in the majors, but it's still not close to what it was last year.
Let me lead into that with this. Do you buy? How do you feel generally about the whole like his like baseball card numbers during this hitting streak he's on are very good. I
Yeah,
think they are highly misleading. Do you agree with that?
yeah. I mean, I look, I've seen the data from this stretch. It's nothing to write home about. Like his he's not hitting the ball that hard. It's a lot of weak contact. He's pulling the ball more, which is good, but it's not like exceedingly more.
He's hitting some home runs, which is good and better, but like,
but he's not hitting velo that well. And this was as of like a few last this I guess coming into this week's series, but in the stretch, like it was like a sub 700 OPS against velocity, sub 30% hard hit rate. 90th was only 102. Like when he was going good last year, his 90th percentile EV was in the 105, 106 range.
yeah,
And it's still, 48 around 50% ground ball rate. There's a lot of swing and miss. And that was the thing that really stood out to me is so he played I'm having to bring it up now, but he played every game I saw. And it's just a lot of strikeouts. Like strikeout on the first game I went to. Second game I went to, he didn't strike out, but it was 4 swinging strikes on like breaking balls. Um, Third game I went to, he struck out twice, 3 more swinging strikes, one against fastball, 2 against breaking balls. Today, didn't strike out. He actually homered today too. But it's just a lot of whiff, and this is against like not the best pitching. Like, granted, Shane Bieber was mean to him, and not a lot you can do. But what I saw from him was, as I said, it's better than what he was doing at the major league level, no doubt. And his things like his hard hit air line drive, like fly ball plus, excuse me, his pull fly ball plus line drive. So the number of fly balls and line drives that he hits pull side is up. It's up like
Balls hit in the air to
10%.
pull side.
Yeah, that was a better way to say it. It's up about like 9-10% from where it was the rest of the season, which is good. Like that's encouraging, but it's still not a good number. Like it's still low. And when you see him, he still is getting sawed off by that pitch in. He has a lot of trouble in, and he has a lot of trouble on pitches down in the zone. And he's hitting stuff up. His home run today was on a cement mixer slider that did absolutely nothing and just sat at his belt. And he deposited it out to left field, which he should have done. But it was only like 97, 98 mile an hour EV. He's just
it was like 360 or something.
The hard contact is just not there to the level it was last year. It's a lot of dink and dunk. And I just worry. And defensively at second base, he made a pretty bad error. He still looks pretty rough there. He's not very instinctual there, and the hands are not great. At first base, he's made some nice plays. I still think it's a work in progress. And I think, if you called him up, you'd have to live with the growing pains. And I'm just not sure you can do that with the team in this position, which is funny to say because Justix and Garcia looked pretty rough at first base also. But and this is in one.
He did. I was going to say he hasn't played.
He's not even played in the game. But I think that just with Campbell, I worry that if you call him up, what happens if he fails again?
Well, that's why I don't want him up this year. If like no earlier than September, and that was like a best case scenario. And I mean, look, let me ask you just to couch everything you're saying. I understand you to be saying this in a calling Christian Campbell back up to help the 2025 Red Sox context, not necessarily in a how you feel about Christian Campbell, the player, going forward for the rest of his career.
Correct. I'm just talking about guys that I think have a best chance to help the Red Sox for the rest of the season.
Yeah, you're not like burying Christian Campbell as a prospect.
I just think he needs a full off season reset. I know you mean that,
but I want to make sure everyone else understands that.
No, that's fair. I just think he needs a full off season to reset, and I don't think like it's a gamble. Like he could come up and find his swing again and hit well, and then have a lot of confidence. I just would be more worried they would come up, hit sub 200 or something, hit around 200 again, and just go into the offseason being like, what the heck? Like, what do I do? And I think he'd be better served continuing in AAA, getting his reps at first base, maybe a little bit at second base, and continuing to try and find his swing and just get back to that level he was last year. Because, like, as I said, like, I'm actually going to look now. So his end of season, batted ball data last year, his hard hit rate is 41.8%. His 90th percentile exit velocity was 106.5. And he had an almost 800 OPS against 94 plus. Like, it's just not close. He's not close to that player right now. Like, it's a 4.5 mile an hour drop in 90th percentile EV. And this is in his good stretch. Well, I mean, what if I added in, the rest of his time in AAA to that? So I think that while the surface numbers are better, there's still work to be done with him. And I wouldn't disrupt it right now.
What did you see out of Justin Garcia this week?
He's going to strike out a lot. I think you got to be prepared. The hit tool is not great. There's a lot of swing and miss. It's kind of like an all or nothing in that regard, where he really, he leaves it all out there. He is not going to get cheated, but there's impactability, and I think that's what you're looking for, especially in September. When he makes contact, he hits the ball hard. He had a missile home run off a line drive that was 106.9 down the line on a brutal changeup that was up and in, but he just cleared it out. But in the same game, he also had 6 swinging strikes. So it's like, that's kind of what you're going to get. Is you're going to get a lot of whiff. You're going to get a lot of loud contact. And I just think, though, that his impactability, especially against, he's going to chase. Yeah, he's going to chase, but he'll punish mistakes. And I just think that, especially in a bench role, that's what I'm looking for, is like, give me a guy who I can put in and he can change a game with one swing. And I think that's what Garcia could do. And they have to call up a position player, right?
Yes. Yeah. It can't be 2 pitchers in September. Yeah.
So it's going to be Nate. It's going to be Nate Eaton or Sogard. But if I'm them, I would be awfully tempted to replace Toro with Garcia.
I think that's what I was about to say, is your September call up is one of those 2 guys that can back up like every position. And I feel like because he can run, Eaton,
it's going to be Nate Eaton.
Sogard. And for that reason, I kind of wonder, like, do you carry both of them all off season on the 40?
Who, Sogard and Eaton?
Sogard and Eaton. It actually makes me want to look up what their option situations are.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like Nate Eaton after seeing him, for this 4 game stretch. He's your classic like up and down utility guy to me.
Eaton has
Because
another option.
he can run, he can play a bunch of positions, he can hit a little bit, he's got some pop. Like he's just a solid baseball
Yeah,
player.
Eaton's got
And
another option. Sogard's got two
yeah,
after
so
this year.
I think that one of them is going to come up, and then the question is, do you keep Tor around or what? And it's the tricky thing is, I wish Justinson hit left-handed. He doesn't help in that regard.
Yeah.
So it's another righty off the bench. But I don't know. I think that if he takes to first base at all, I think that's what they likely do because it's just there's more upside there. Like if you catch lightning in a bottle, like this week, I think he hit 4 home runs or something or 3 home runs. And it's just he can have weeks like that where he can carry an offense. And I just think that the upside there is very tantalizing when you're in a stretch where you don't need him to be an everyday guy. You just need him for situations. And in terms of situations, especially given how left-handed their lineup is most of the time, you're going to be seeing a lot more. Not a lot more, but you're going to see more lefties out of the bullpen because of the extra spot, I think, in September. I like the idea of adding another right-hander because that way, you can pinch hit for both Abreu and Yoshida if you have, Ref Snyder and him, and you can pitch it for Hamilton at second base too with Romy. It just gives you more flexibility having that third right-hander off the bench.
That leads me into a point that I wanted to make. And I hope you don't mind me jumping in with this because I can hear all of our listeners screaming into their iPhones. Masataka Yoshida is not getting designated for assignment this year. It's
people saying that.
People want
well
him
lately.
gone.
Why?
People want him gone because he's not hitting.
Yeah, 250. Who's going to DH?
Right. No, I mean, I think it's the same people that want Rafaela back in center, want the Red Sox using.
I'm not going to lie; those splits are pretty bad.
What do you mean?
Have you seen his splits between when he's at center versus second base?
Oh no, is he hitting a lot better in center? I mean, I think a lot of it's just timing. Frankly,
he's hitting like 110 in second base.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of that is he's in one of his stretches where he's not hitting. Like, I don't know if it has
he hasn't hit like a month.
Playing second. Like,
no, but it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd be interested in is the split between positions since he started playing a lot more second base. Since he started playing second base.
Well, no, I would be interested in. It's literally what positions he's playing.
Like, I want the split between positions for the time period when he started playing second base some as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because get rid of all of the noise that's like all of the good hitting he did earlier in the year.
Well, all right. Here, I will give you a small sample of, because I can do this math quickly, of August. In August at second base, this doesn't include today. He's 1 for 15. In center field, he is 6 for 12.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So it doesn't help your argument.
No, I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that's interesting to me. I wonder how much of that is like, just luck, but
it's literally like he played second base the first Houston game, went 0 for 4. Then he played center field for 3 straight games and went 2 for 4, 3 for 3, and 1 for 4. He pinch hit and played center field.
I wonder how much that corresponds with handedness too.
Yeah, I don't know.
He plays center field. He plays center field when they were lefties.
What pitchers? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he was 0 for 3 against the last Royals game, and then 0 for 4, and then 1 for 4, and then I think he went 0 for 4 today. He also had one of the worst at bats of the season today.
Yeah. I mean, I think it because he plays center field when they sit Yoshida against the lefty.
Yeah.
And they DH one of the outfielders and put him back in center, and they put Romy at second.
It's not a great spot to be in, and this is why, like, I just don't, as we talked about earlier, I don't get why they didn't go out and get a position player at the deadline.
Yeah.
Like, they needed a bat.
Yeah. But the thing with Yoshida, I mean, the point I want to make with Yoshida is that, like, I know people want more out of the DH spot and or to use it to allow Rafaela to play center field every day. I get that. Major league teams don't DFA someone with 2 more years at 18 million per because they're like merely hitting okay. You know what I mean? Like they do it, like you do that when it's Pablo Sandoval, who is literally a net negative to your roster in any number of ways. You don't do that with the Masataka Yoshida situation. Like he's here for the duration. He's not going anywhere. we're a solid year plus away from the point where they would even consider just moving on from him, unless it's like an off season, like they throw him into a trade type thing. But they're not just gonna eat the money to make him go away. So stop thinking about that as a possibility. It's not happening, which means it's
Well,
gonna happen
but
next week.
I think it is also though. Who are they going to play there? Like everyone's like, okay, DFA him. Who are you playing at DH?
Every person who I see that is mad about Rafaela not playing center does not have a plan for what you do at second base.
So what they would say, they want Rafael in center, then they want Duran at DH.
Okay, which I'm fine with those. Anthony, but then who's playing center? Who's playing second base?
I mean, you can't. David Hamilton. Well, no, but you need Romy at first base also.
Right, that's my point. Like, is it David Hamilton? You're telling me David Hamilton at second is better than Masataka Yoshida at DH?
Well, and I think that's what it comes down to is when you look at the available options, only way, and I don't love Rafael at second either, but the only way to get the best possible lineup out is to have him at second.
It's like if it were their long-term solution, I would similarly be furious. It is a short-term solution this year because it allows them to get their best lineup on the field. Yeah. And they need to rectify that this offseason. Yeah. They're going to have to make a tough trade this offseason. We've said it every episode, so I don't want to belabor the point.
Yeah, they're going to have to trade one of Abreu, Duran, or Rafaela this offseason.
Yeah.
Or maybe, well, they're not trading Anthony, so it's one of those three.
I'm joking.
Maybe two of those three and sign Kyle Tucker, which is what they should do.
I don't hate it.
But, but this is, I mean, just to wrap up the position players, you look at what they have there. Vaughn Grissom is not happening. He doesn't fit on the roster at all, and I don't think he brings anything that, he's not going to add anything to this team. No, defensively, he's a minus, and he can't really hit good. He's not hit good pitching in AAA. I know the numbers are good, but when he faces good arms, it's a struggle. And
we've got the updated numbers. Do we want to go to the updated numbers for Grissom? Where is he?
Sure,
I got it right here.
So, it's a 482 OPS against 94 plus mile an hour fastballs.
Yeah, and he's not hitting lefties either.
Well, that's the other thing is, and he doesn't give you a platoon advantage, and so I don't think you're going to bring up a guy to face right. Like they don't need another guy to face
right-handed pitchers.
Yeah. So I just don't think he's a very good fit, and that brings like the one who I do wonder and is Nate Eaton can't really play second base every day, or I mean I guess he could. I don't know if he's much of an upgrade. He might be an upgrade over David Hamilton, honestly. Just with how Hamilton's playing right now. I do wonder if but Eaton has similar issues against good velo. So at least he has good platoon splits though. So he crushes lefties. So I guess that, you could make it, if you do that, at least you could play Eaton every day. You could play Eaton at second against lefties, and then you play Romy at first. So you can get Tor out of the lineup.
By the way, Nate Eaton, now that I'm looking at them, because they happen to be next to each other on what I'm looking at, Eaton's numbers and Grissom's numbers are very similar.
Yeah.
Offensively, with the exception of, I mean, Eaton's a little better against velocity. He hasn't punished bad fastballs the way Grissom has.
No, he has. Has a higher OPS against them.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong row. Yeah, his numbers are eerily.
They're very similar to Grissom's.
They are eerily similar, and he is a far superior defender. With the exception between the two is that Eaton hasn't been eaten up by, which I didn't mean to do, but I'll roll with it. He hasn't been gobbled up by left-handers.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, if they're going to call up an infielder for who's a righty, it's going to be Eaton, not Grissom.
Yeah, because Eaton can also run and play defense at 7 positions.
Yeah, like, and the one I wonder is Sogard, because like Sogard does a lot of things really well. There's just no impact, and that's like you're bringing him up. He's basically just going to hit singles, but it's a good approach. He has no problem with velo or he can hit any type of pitch. And that's kind of what I saw from him this week. Like he was on base all the time. He was the only one in their lineup really who could handle Shane Bieber. Because they did face Shane Bieber rehabbing, and Sogard reached base all 3 times he faced him. Mm-hmm. So like, this is a guy who can handle professional pitching. And I do wonder if maybe at some point, if Hamilton continues to struggle, that they just say look, we'll just call up Sogard and we'll just play him at second base against righty, excuse me.
I mean, he puts in a professional at bat. It's just the impactability there is just
There's no impact at all.
no.
Like I mean, I think he has 3 home runs all season. It's it's a very low, it's very low EVs, but I just think that I just like the quality of his bats, and he's just always on base. And I don't know. It stood out to me when he was the only guy who could handle Bieber. Like
He hits
really,
velocity. He hits the ball in the air, or at least line drives. Maybe
yeah.
not fly balls, but
Because like I'm just looking at the top of the order. So in the game against Shane Bieber, Sogard reached base 3 times. Justinson Garcia did not. I think he got out all 3 times. When did Bieber go out? And Grissom. Grissom didn't reach base. Campbell didn't reach base. So it's just I think that that Sogard is an interesting option should they choose to go that route. And I do wonder if at some point, if Hamilton continues to struggle, especially when rosters expand and you don't need Hamilton's speed if you're bringing up Eaton, I do wonder if Sogard becomes a more viable option then.
It's a minor point, but I'm curious. What's your take on the Ali Sanchez saga?
I mean, I think he's better than anything else they have as a third catcher. I just don't know how they get him on the roster. I have a feeling they're going to try and sneak him through waivers.
I mean, at this point, it's clear that's what they're going to do. Because personally, I would have put Narvaez on the IL. I don't understand the reticence. I get that they're in a playoff race, but it's like you were already at a point where he'd been down for 3 days. You can backdate the move 3 days. Like, let him sit for a week and like catch his breath. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the reticence there. And I get what they would probably say is like, we have arguably the best defensive catcher this year in the major leagues. Like, we need him in the lineup, even if he's not hitting. I get that.
Yeah. Well, I think that is the argument, though.
It's clearly the argument. But at the same time, like, if sitting Narvaez the next week means that for the rest of the season you get a better Narvaez, I think it's a very clear win. I guess, I mean, it also isn't a guarantee that that's the case either. This could just be him regressing to the mean hard, right?
Well, I think the bat was always going to regress, but the defense is so good it doesn't matter. Like,
but there's regress and there's what he's been since the All-Star break, which is like a 300 OPS hitter.
But like he could hit like as long as he hits like above 200, it's fine.
I agree.
He could have a 600 OPS. He just needs like a 600 OPS and it's fine.
That's fine. It's that he's been a 300 OPS hitter.
But I do wonder how much of that is the injury though.
Right, and that then litigates towards like sit him for a week, right? Like,
yeah.
So he sat the game before the off day. He sat the off day, and then the next day he was going to sit. It's like at that point, that was Friday. If you put him on the IL at that point, he could have been back next Saturday.
Yeah, but he played today, so that's out the window.
Did he play today?
Yeah,
I missed that completely. Okay,
he got into the game for like 2 innings.
Okay, well, I guess he's fine then. But
because it's like Connor Wong.
So at that point, clearly, Ali Sanchez, they're going to try and get through waivers.
Connor Wong has been better, like since the All-Star break at small sample, but he's 222, 267, 333, which I can't believe I'm saying is like good for him. It's like, I mean,
it's he like
600 OPS.
I'm past the point. Like even at the deadline, it was kind of like a nice to have. It wasn't a target, right? Like it's the backup catcher role. Like,
yeah,
who are you planning on getting for that, and what do you want to give up for it?
I do think though, if they can find a way to keep Ali Sanchez, that would actually be sneaky important because looking at the catchers they had, they played there this week. It was Sebi Zavala and Chadwick Tromp.
Yeah, those are the two right now because they pushed Ronaldo Hernandez down to Double-A to make room for Chadwick Tromp, which I've kind of felt bad about, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but not great.
Tromp, in a small sample size, has been very bad at the plate, at least.
Well, he also had one of the worst throws. He also had a hilariously bad throw. The runner was stealing and lost his helmet like right as he started stealing, and Trump should have thrown him out by about 10 feet, but the throw tailed so much to the first base side it hit the runner in the head who was helmetless. Oh God. He's fine, so I can laugh about it now. It was very funny. No. And it was like a perfect, like it was a high fastball. It should I think it was a fastball up and away. Like the guy should have been hosed by a mile, and he wasn't. And
no good.
But like seeing like Sevi Zavala can't. Those guys are not, in my opinion, like they're fine depth catchers in AAA. They're not guys that would be comfortable playing at the major league level.
Sure.
And I think Sanchez is like he's still a depth catcher also, but I think it's a caliber above because he's hit well in AAA especially. So I think that if they can find a way to keep him, that would be good. But it might not. If Narvaez is fine, it's not as big of a concern, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if he actually is fine, then great. But it just all signs seem to indicate that he was not, in fact, fine. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Um, last position player, just want to touch on Mikey Romero quickly.
Yes, tell me about
Um,
Michael. Tell me about young Michael and how he has looked in
it's a rough
AAA.
year, rough few days for him.
Yeah.
He had 2 4 strikeout games, um,
Okay.
which is not good. And the defense at second base was pretty rough. He had a very bad error today that cost Payton Tuli 6 runs. And
Was it
it's
six he
interesting.
gave up? I didn't forget. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
realize it
was
was that
5
many.
earned, but 6. And I think it's telling to me that, and I think we talked about it on a prior episode, he's not playing shortstop anymore. Like
Yeah, I was
he's
gonna say we need to mention that he's a second baseman, second baseman, third baseman at this point.
yeah.
Shortstop is done.
Um, and since he's been promoted, this doesn't include today. He is, I think he has, yeah, he's had 3 games with hits, and he's hitting. He's got a 619 OPS, 167 batting average, 219 OBP, 400 slug. He does have 2 home runs, 13 strikeouts, and 32 plate appearances. I'd have to find my notes to see what he did today, but I think that he's definitely the jump of pitching from Double A to Triple A has hit him pretty hard, I would say.
I bet.
Um,
Yeah.
especially lefties. He does not seem to recognize breaking balls from lefties really well, and that they've seen some decent AAA lefties, and they've just kind of been eating him up, like a lot of just sliders down and away. He just can't touch, and he's had some trouble versus spin this year. He's had some trouble against lefties this year, and I think it just gets magnified when you get to the AAA level. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's some struggles the rest of the year, but I mean, he's super young for the level now. You know, he's what, 21 years old in AAA, so facing like, I mean, you
Yeah,
look at
he's
the Blue
21.
Jays, you look at the Buffalo lineup today, they had like 5 guys who have played in the big leagues and a bunch of, the arms he saw this week. He saw Shane Bieber. He saw a couple other guys who have MLB experience out of the bullpen. So like Joe Mantiply was one of them. Like guys like
Hmm.
that are just Mikey Romero against the, low slot lefty is just a tough matchup. So
Sure.
wouldn't
I
be
mean,
surprised if there are some struggles the rest of the season, but it
I
wouldn't read
go
too
back
much
to
into them.
seeing like Randy Dobnak playing on the backfields in camp, and that's a guy who like I don't even know if he made it into the regular season with the Twins, but
He
he
was
was just
salary dumped at the deadline.
yeah. So they brought him. I thought he got DFA'd early in the year or something,
He
but
was
like
traded to the
what?
Tigers
Okay,
with
all
someone.
right,
I can't remember what the trade was. Oh, it was Chris
but
Paddock and him, but yeah.
oh right, okay, but at any rate, like he was carving in the AAA game, just carving these guys up. And like that's what you're facing in AAA. And this is a guy who's like a fringy, like relieve, like he's a middle reliever in the
Who
majors. He's not
Randy?
even a
Oh,
center
Randy
field.
Dobnak is. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like that's the type of thing that's why AAA is important. Like it's not the Dave Dombrowski era of like, what's the point of AAA? Like AAA is very important
no.
to the
There's
franchise.
also the talent level in Double A is very down this year. I would say the Eastern League especially has been pretty bad. And the other thing is, and we've seen this with Blaze Jordan, Justin Garcia, a few others. There's just no lefties in the Eastern League this year.
Hmm.
And even in AAA, like you look, let's see, Romero actually. Yeah, Romero this year has 64 plate appearances against lefties.
321 total.
Like
Hmm.
that's wild. The split did not used to be that, but for whatever reason, this year there's just not very many lefties in the Eastern League or the Red Sox opponent blocks. So I can it's not surprising that that's been a struggle for him, and I think
Yeah.
that this is it's good experience for him, and now it's about in the off season, go home, keep working on your defense, keep improving at the plate, and then come back next year with the eye towards, that's when you finally
Yeah.
can be comfortable at the level. He's still going to be super young for it, but
Yeah, still doesn't need to be added to the 40-man roster. So like he's
no,
got time. Like
nope,
there's no rush.
nope,
I'm almost a little surprised. I mean, look, he only like if Blaze Jordan doesn't get traded, he's still in Double A, and it's fine.
probably, yeah.
He moved up because Blaze Jordan got traded.
Yeah, how many at
And
bats did he get in Portland total? So he had 70 last year, and then this year,
I don't think it's really that many because it's
uh,
basically this year. Because last year he was there for what, a month?
he had 70 last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It was. I'm trying to bring it up. Here we go. 297 plate appearances this year, 74 last year. So it's like 360 plate appearances or so, 370.
365, 360. Yeah.
So not a ton. I mean, especially
Yeah.
when you compare like guys like Nick York, Blaze Jordan had, what, 500 plus each.
7.
So was it 7? Okay.
Yeah.
They had a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not that many for Mara. So it's not gonna, if he struggles the rest of the year, I'm not gonna write him off in it, but I also wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's also just interesting the other guys on that Worcester roster, like, Nathan Hickey is now like a DH only, basically, who feasts on bad fastballs, but otherwise isn't doing a whole lot.
He also homered off Shane Bieber.
Oh, did he really? Good for
Yeah.
him. Good for
I
him.
don't think it was a home run, but whatever.
What, you mean like they called it a home run and it wasn't?
Yeah, it hit like the top of the wall in right field and bounced back
Oh,
very quickly. And I don't think I've ever,
you thought
I
it hit
don't
the
think
front.
there's a ledge that would cause that, but
Yeah,
whatever.
interesting.
I didn't see a replay. They ruled it a home run.
Yeah, yeah. That Worcester roster is interesting on the position player
It
side.
it's a like in a weird way, it's actually I think a pretty good AAA roster.
Yeah, like
Like
Trace Thompson as the other like the right fielder with Josti in center. Left field as a rotation of Tyler McDonough, Corey Rozier, and the occasional Philip Sykes appearance. Infield's pretty stacked in terms of AAA roster.
prospects. Yeah. I gotta say,
It's
I still
good.
like Tyler McDonough.
I
Just
mean, he's
gets
a useful guy. Like
he's
you
a
said,
solid AAA org guy. Like
someday he's gonna get the like Mike
Mike Miller
Miller
cup of
call
coffee.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's just he makes a ton of hard contact for someone his size.
doesn't
It's
really hit the
decent.
ball in the air all that much. Although I guess it's a lot of line
No,
drives.
it's not fly balls though. It's just a bunch of line. It's gap to gap line
Yeah,
drives. He's got
can run a little bit.
he can run. He can play a bunch of positions. He's a good defender, good arm, and I don't know. I just think he's a very useful player to have in an organization.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll keep him around as long as he'll stick around.
Yeah,
Like they've thrown him on the dev list for short periods this year too. Like he's just yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Pitching side,
yeah. The pitching side is
who
interesting.
who do you want to talk about, Ian?
I mean, I was just gonna go.
Who should we discuss?
Well, I was gonna go game by game.
Oh, were you? All right, you're gonna make
Yeah,
him wait.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, it's how I'm organized. You got to go deep.
Right, fine,
No,
fine,
but
fine.
in all seriousness, I think that there's
Should
a
we
lot of
talk news
interest.
first? We probably need to talk. We need to preface it with news. I think
Okay, sure.
as far as that, because so after everything we said about Payton Tuli potentially could get called up with that. By the way, excellent bit of business that you and Godzilla put together for the socials. That was like you
Wait, but we
calling.
talked about Totally getting called up on the last podcast.
We did. But I'm saying after us talking about how that could lead to Toli pitching out of the bullpen and getting a call up, David Sandlin this week was the one who got moved to the bullpen.
Well, but that's not surprising.
It's not at all. And why it's not surprising is because David Sandlin needs to get protected from the Rule 5 draft
Yeah.
this offseason. He's going to get added to the 40 man. And frankly, he might be a reliever anyway. Right? I mean, and
I
I
would lean that way.
But like, so of course, yeah, see what it looks like. After you talk about Toli, I've got a whole set of thoughts about him coming up this year that I'll wait to get to there. But it was just funny that like Sandlin was the one that moved. You saw him once, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll get to that when you get to that. But that was kind of the news of the week. And like I said, I have thoughts on the Toli to the bullpen thing, but we can get there when we get there. So
Yeah, so well, because here's the thing is I think when you look at this is it's a good AAA like pitching staff. And
can I ask you a question since you just said that? But finish your thought, and I'm going to find the question.
My thought was that I do wonder if the depth of the AAA pitching staff is kind of what made Craig Breslow less apt to trade for a rental, because I wonder if he thought that the rentals were not that much of an upgrade over what they had in house, or at least not worth giving up what it would require to get. Compared to like Dustin May, obviously, I don't think cost a ton, which is why they're willing to do it. But what it would have cost to get a Merrill Kelly type, I do wonder if that they were like, is Merrill Kelly that much of an upgrade over what we have in house? And so,
yeah, maybe
that's why I wonder. And I thought it was good because I saw this week, I saw Harrison, Early, Fitz, Toley. I saw all the starters except for Criswell. And Criswell, we know what he is. Like, he's fine.
And actually, so along those lines, we got a question from Roy who asked, with the promotion of Toley to AAA, it's safe to assume that the rotation will consist of Fitz, It wound up being wrong because they moved Sandlin to the bullpen, but he said they've got Fitz, Harrison, Early, Sandlin, and Toley. Instead, it's Fitz, Harris. It's the way it works is Criswell, Harrison, Early, Fitz, Toley, in that order. And he wants to know if either of us remember a minor league affiliate with such a star-studded starting rotation made up of young arms that are all projected to contribute to the big league club in the near future, or would you consider this an unprecedented moment in the history of Red Sox pitching development? Thank you, Roy P. Definitely not unprecedented, but it's a good rotation.
Did you go back and do research or no?
I haven't. What came to mind, and I'm going to leave this in the queue because I do want to do that research. But what came to mind is I remember the rotations that like were that quote unquote stacked were ones that included like there was a one point when like Alan Webster and Ruby De La Rosa were in the
Yep.
AAA rotation.
And Anthony Renato and Henry Owens.
Was
and
that all at
like
the same
I
time?
think
And
it
Brandon
was.
Workman?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was
And the point being
exactly
that
what came to
none
mind for
of them
me.
became major league starters.
No,
So
but that was exactly what came to mind for me. And that
yeah,
would have been what, probably like
I'm going to look it up. Yeah.
2012.
Something like that.
When was
because
the
the Alan Webster trade was 2011.
yeah, the 2012
Or yeah.
Pawtucket Red Sox. I'm looking at it right now. Pitching staff. Game started. No, definitely wasn't that. It definitely was not 2012. Oh, 2012. Brandon Duckworth was their leader in starts,
Oof.
followed by Doug Mathis and Billy Buckner.
Really? Were they in
Yeah.
double A then? Was that it? Or were they in the majors?
What was it must have been. Are you sure it was 20? I thought when was that trade?
It was either 10 or 11. I thought it was 11. Was 11 chicken and beer?
No, it was 13.
Well, so here I'm looking at the season opening rosters for
The trade was
2013.
the trade was the end of the 2012 season, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Was it? Okay. So the 2013 season opening
No, it was in
rotation
the
and
2013 season. Yeah.
just listen to me. The 2013 season opening rotation in Pawtucket was Stephen Wright, Alan Webster, Chris Hernandez, Terry Doyle, and Ruby De La Rosa, with Alex Wilson in the bullpen. The double A rotation was Drake Britton, Brandon Workman, Kyle Kaminska, Matt Barnes, and Anthony Renato. So the end of the year, Owens was in the system, but he was behind all those guys. So the end
So
of
probably
year
would have been
rotation-
2014 Pawtucket.
Well, I want to see what the end of year Pawtucket was for 2013. So the end of year. Come on. My internet's always so slow when I'm hosting the Zoom.
Yeah, it's 2014. I have it right here.
Okay, what is it?
2014, the most starts were Renato, Matt Barnes, and Alan Webster were the three most starts. Then Ruby De La Rosa, Brandon Workman, and Henry Owens also made starts that year.
Okay, yeah, that's they all would have been top 10 guys, I'm sure.
Craig Breslow also made a start that year.
That's funny. Yeah, he was because he was rehabbing. Yeah, because I'm looking at the season opening roster. Barnes was on the then DL, and Breslow was rehabbing.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the 2014.
It's funny because the season opening rotation there had Renato, Webster, De La Rosa, Chris Hernandez, and Jeremy Kurt, with Britton in the bullpen.
Yeah,
and Owens was in double A.
Owens started in double A. He only made like 6 starts at the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, Workman was in the major league bullpen to start the year. Interesting. I wonder if that was the year
then he went down and pitched in the rotation.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the year they started in Oakland. No, maybe not. Or not in Oakland, Japan against Oakland, but that wasn't. Anyway, so yeah. Point being, they've had very good looking rotations in the past. They haven't recently for reasons we've discussed, I think, Ian, which is that like they just haven't been putting the resources into acquiring and developing pitching.
Correct.
So that's why you have.
But I mean, they are now.
They certainly
are now. I mean,
yeah.
Look at the AAA rotation. Kyle Harrison was the Devers trade. Early was, I guess, only $400K, but 5th round pick. Richard Fitz was a trade. Tuli was a ton of money. Tuli was 1.6. Right? Sandlin was a trade. Uberstein was a late round pick. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely we're starting to see the first wave, I think, of the new arms are coming through.
I can't remember the last time they had a AAA rotation that was good enough that Tyler Uberstein gets pushed into a piggyback role. Put it that way.
But I wonder if he starts next week, he just takes the Jose De Leon spot next week, or they push up
Yeah,
like
I don't know if
Criswell
they're
a
going to
day.
go because sometimes they only go 5-man rotation in AAA because they want to kind of keep guys lined up and keep them on a major league workload.
I
But
could definitely see that
I
because
could also see Uberstein getting a start too, though.
they had Harrison go 199 pitches, which I've basically never seen, or they don't do in AAA usually. So I do wonder if
I think you just said 199 pitches.
no, I said 100, or actually, and I corrected
Okay,
myself to
yeah, okay,
99
that
pitches.
makes much more sense. I figured that's what you meant, but yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, they've been letting guys go like into the 90s recently, which you can tell us the time of year because like they're letting the major leaguers crack 100 with some regularity at this point.
I mean, they kind of have to though. If you're a guy who's major league depth, you need to be able to throw like
Mhm.
90 plus pitches. So yeah, I mean, you could see the difference though between like Payton Tuli through 72. I think early was like 80 something, and then versus Harrison was 99. So
Yeah,
the guys
they're
that
letting
are
Criswell throw into the 90s too. I think when he
yeah.
gets there.
So I think with Harrison though, it was a good start. Like he threw it was a weird start. The final numbers were good. And there were some good stretches. At the same time, I do think there's still a decent amount to work on, and it's why I probably wouldn't. You don't necessarily know if he would be the first one up. I feel like it would be Criswell. Because Harrison, it was the final line was 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and then he struck out. I want to say 7. It was, yeah, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. So it's actually 2 hits, excuse me. So 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He threw 99 pitches, only 61 strikes. And fastball was 92 to 96, cutter 86 to 89, sweeper 79 to 83, or slurve, whatever you want to call it, and then changeup 86 to 89. Fastball was really good. Had a 29% whiff rate, got like a bunch of swinging strikes when he located in the zone. The problem was that was not consistent. He missed a lot, especially he couldn't command it at all glove side. Like everything was arm side and up or away. And the result was like it was just very pitch inefficient. That's why he needed 99 pitches to get through 5 innings. And it was just the thing that stood out to me was just he just really struggled to put guys away efficiently. Like 2 of his 3 walks were 8+ pitch at bats where he just couldn't put a guy away and eventually walked him. And he had multiple other like significant, very long at bats. And the cause of that is the secondaries just need a lot of work. Like he flashed a couple of good breaking balls, but there just wasn't a lot of consistency with that. And I like the fastball, I think could play at the major level. I just have serious questions about the breaking balls, the secondary stuff, especially his breaking ball right now, and how that if that's a viable option. And I think that like his strikeouts, all but one were on a fastball. His whiffs, there were a couple on the cutter, like 3 on the cutter, I think, and then 1 on the sweeper, and then the rest were all on fastballs. It's just such a fastball heavy approach. I think that he needs more time to continue developing the secondaries they have him working on. That I personally don't think I would call him up yet, but
yeah.
I
I mean, if you're gonna
understand why
do this,
people would
do it
want it
right.
though.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right. Like, and again, like September is 2 additional players. One is going to be a boring old extra reliever.
Well, it's going to be Cooper Criswell, right? Actually, maybe
Like,
not though, because maybe they
no,
want to keep him starting.
it could be Kelly, it could be Birdie, it could be Bernardino. Like, depending on what they need or want at a given time.
Yeah.
Like, or it could be Slayton. Like, it could be activating Slayton.
Well,
Like,
I think Slayton's going to replace Isaiah Campbell. I don't really think he serves
sure,
much purpose on the roster.
sure, that's fair. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like they could have Birdie or Kelly replace him. Like
Yeah. So and it's a work in progress. It's a step in the right direction. It's definitely better than like some of the other starts I've seen from him. So that was kind of like my criterias of the starts I've watched of him and been in sense for. This was his best one, but the inefficiency really stood out, especially when you juxtapose that with the person who followed him, who was Tyler Ruberstein, who threw 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run. It was a home run on a terrible changeup that he just left up in the zone. 2 walks, and he struck out 8. He threw 64 pitches in his 4 innings. And thing I like about Uberstein, and the more I see him, I wonder if they should just give him a shot because he's Rule 5 eligible this year,
he is.
and I don't know if his numbers are top on their data models. That's kind of the question I have because I've heard from some other teams that that have the scouts like him more than their computer
Their
models do.
analysts. Yeah.
Yeah, than the analysts do. But it's a four seams like 94 to 96, sinker 92 to 94, cutter 87, 88, changeup 85 to 88, slider 82 to 85. He can miss bats with all of his pitches. He throws a ton of strikes. It's like four seams up, sinkers down. Good. His changeup is his best pitch. He's got like really good feel for it. He'll throw it 2-0, 3-0. He'll double it up. He'll throw it righties, lefties. Doesn't matter. For one bad one, that was a home run. But other than that, like he pretty much dominated this lineup. And I just think that there's pitchability there. It's a wide ranging arsenal. And I just would be interested in seeing what it looks like at the major league level. And I don't know if he's going to get that chance. But in AAA, like 56 innings, 27% strikeout rate, 8% walk rate, he'll keep you in a game. I wonder if he could, be an interesting like multi-inning guy if you're not going to give him a chance to start. And I know the home runs are an issue. He's given up I think 11 in AAA, but other than that, they're mostly solo shots because he doesn't walk guys. So I feel like you can work around that. So I don't know. I like Uberstein. I think he's an interesting guy and someone who I think that if he doesn't get protected in Rule 5, will definitely get picked.
It's interesting that because his velo that we have here is a lot lower than what you were describing. So I'm wondering if he's like picked up the velo as the season's gone on.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's two different pitches though. It's like he's throwing a four seam and a two seam. So.
Yeah, but you had both of them above like the 92 that we have on here. So that's interesting. Yeah. He has been homer prone, like you said. But like you said, if you can minimize what's on ahead of that, like he's one of the best guys they've had, especially in AAA at throwing strikes. Behind really like he's been about where Sandlin has been, but they've been only behind Fitz as far as getting ahead of guys. How would you give him a shot in the bullpen? Start like as a bulk guy behind a piggyback starter. Like
I think he would be a perfect like extra guy to call up who could be a swingman type. Like you could spot start him if you need to, or just use him in relief for multi innings. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, who knows? I mean,
like I wonder. It would make sense to me if you want to keep Criswell and Harrison on rotation, like started stretched out. He to me would be a perfect guy to call up for that extra spot to just bridge that gap.
Because the AAA season goes until like the second to last week of September. Now.
Exactly. Like, it's like the 20th or something.
Yeah.
Or 21st,
it goes to almost the end of the major league season. So,
well, and for that reason, I think you would want to, especially if you still have questions about Dustin May, Giolito's had some trouble lately, and then Walker Buehler, you don't know what you're going to get. If you want to keep Criswell and Harrison ready for those spots potentially.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk early next, or do you want to talk Fitz? Because he also does kind of fit that.
No, I was going to talk early because it was
okay. Go for it.
Well, because early's interesting because his changeup is really good. I think the rest of the arsenal is pretty light, but this was a good start for him. He threw 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts again, so bunch of whiffs. Limited hard contact. He only walked 1, and then 79 pitches, 52 strikes. His changeup's really good. It's like 81 to 85, really good shape. It's really good arm speed. He'll throw it whenever. He has a ton of confidence in that. The breaking ball is definitely a work in progress. It's like a cutter, 87 to 90, slider, 83 to 86, and then a curveball at 79 to 82. He just runs the gambit from about the high 70s to the low 90s, the high 80s, and breaking balls, just varying shapes with them. Fastball 92 to 96. And the thing with him is his velo just he doesn't hold it well. He came out like 94 to 96, but by the third inning, it's, 92, 93, 90, maybe touch 94, maybe a 95 in there sprinkled in, but he can be effective at that because of his command. But if he's not commanding, there's just not a lot of margin for error because it's like an average fastball. And I think the secondaries, especially the breaking stuff, still needs work. But I think that, the changeup is good enough that if he's able to keep that competitive, then he'll still be able to be effective, even if the velo is only kind of like, 92, 94 rather than 94 to 96. At 92, 94, it's more back end, like 5th starter profile to me than someone who could maybe be like a 4.
Would you give him starts this year? I wouldn't. Especially just for the 40-man reasons. Because
he's not Rule 5 eligible this year. Yeah. But I mean, I think internally they do like him a lot. Like I
Yeah.
think he was less available than some guys that we have ranked ahead of them that will be that probably should be corrected. And will be. But yeah, it's it's interesting. He's someone they seem to really like.
All right. Richard Fitz pitched the next day.
Well, no, I want to jump in here with a couple of relievers.
Oh, is that the day you saw Sandlin too?
No, that was
All right.
Fitz. Um,
Fine. I'm an idiot. Go for it.
Nick Birdie looked good, 94 to 97. I wouldn't be surprised if I'd probably rather have him up than Isaiah Campbell right now. Zach Kelly's stuff looked good. He was throwing strikes. When he throws strikes, it's good. I just worry that he's going to be someone who, like, the Dodgers are going to make throw strikes and he's going to be a beast at some point because the stuff and the shapes are nasty. It's just the lack of consistency. And then this is the one that's interesting to me because I actually saw this player twice and it was the same thing both times. So Alex Hoppy is throwing strikes like very
Yeah.
consistently for the first time. And he's now, so I've seen him twice. I saw him on the 8th and then today, which that's actually a pretty quick turnaround now that I think about it. That's 2 in 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching
It's interesting.
because that is, they don't usually do that. I'm actually now curious. Has he done that at all this year?
I'm
Let's
already
look.
on it.
But anyway, Alex Hoppy is now on 7 straight scoreless outings, 8 innings, 5 hits,
He did
3
he did the
walks.
same thing last week too. Pitched
Okay.
Friday, Sunday last week. Yeah, he's done twice in 3 days a few times this year.
Okay.
He did it again
So,
on the 10th and 12th. Yeah, the 4th and the 6th. He's actually done a bunch.
hmm.
He pitches Friday and Sunday. This is very weird.
Wait, that's
He
it?
very consistently pitches on Fridays and Sundays, not exclusively, but
Is he throwing like a Tuesday in there too, or no?
I mean, there's other weeks where yeah, I mean, there's like a week here where he threw a Wednesday and a Friday. But he has pitched twice in 3 days, a lot. It's
That is
very weird.
interesting. But yeah, he's 99 to like or 98 to 100 with like pretty big velo.
Second best velo in the organization to Chapman, I believe.
Yeah. So, but he's locating it, and this is the thing he's never done before. Like you look
Yeah.
at you look at even his splits before this stretch. They're just he had for the entire season, obviously bigger sample, but he had like 24 walks in 40 innings. And in this stretch, if you take out, he had 1 3 walk game. Other than that, I don't think he has a walk in this stretch. So it's like he's throwing strikes and he's missing bats and he's limiting hard contact. And the secondary is it's a cutter and a slider.
His strike indicators have been going way up.
Yeah. And I mean, he throws hard. It's, it's good extension. The fastball shape is, it plays down a little bit below the velocity, but he's throwing strikes room in the high 90s with like, fringy to average secondaries. That's playable at the major league level. And he's a Rule 5 guy that I wasn't really thinking about, but because if you look at his season numbers, they're whatever. But this stretch has been very good, and if this can continue, I do wonder. Like guys who throw in the high 90s can touch 100, don't grow on trees, and like you saw what that can do with that Padres bullpen this week. Their entire bullpen is throwing like 100. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on him. He's someone he's pretty interesting to me now, and Rule 5 eligible this offseason also, and someone that I would not be surprised at all if he doesn't get protected. Could easily see get popped.
I mean, that's exactly the kind of guy. Like the more I think about him, he's the type of guy that like 2 years later, you're looking back and it's like, how did he get left unprotected? Right? Like if you've got that kind of velo, and here's the thing, they could get a look at it this year.
Yeah,
they've got the 40 man is full, but they're probably gonna DFA Sanchez. They could easily DFA Isaiah Campbell. You still got Vaughn Grissom sitting there with no options next year. I don't know when they're going to pull, maybe he's just a non-tender, but
they also have a ton of guys. I guess they have a bunch of guys coming off the 60-day though, but
this offseason, there's a little bit of a crunch this offseason, but
so here's one. Is like Tanner Houck a non-tender candidate?
No.
Are you sure? He's basically going to have 1 year left.
Can you when a guy's hurt?
I don't know the answer to that. That's what I'm wondering. But like he's
do you non-tender him and to like re-sign him to a like
he's going to make deal? Like $4 million next year, and he's not going to pitch.
Furious.
Oh, of course he would be.
Like
But
he doesn't
I
resign
and
to do that.
I don't know the answer of that. I don't know the answer if you can even do that.
Like does that become like Pablo Sandoval or not Pablo Sandoval? Jesus, Patrick Sandoval. Like Patrick Sandoval was rehabbing TJ when
Oh
they
yeah,
signed
wasn't
him.
he non-tendered?
I think he
Or
was not tendered. Yeah. So
so but like it's something I'm monitoring because are they really going to pay him like $4 million to rehab for one season? You know what I mean?
it's a good question.
Like
I'm
so
pulling Sandoval up now to see if what the transaction was with him.
yeah, he was non-tendered on November 22nd. The Angels non-tendered Sandoval, making him a free agent.
Yeah. So there you go. That's an
So
interesting thought.
I think that
That is an
I
interesting
I do
thought.
wonder if that's on the table, but I think you could find room to give him a shot if you wanted to. Is where I was
Yeah. Oh,
going with
yeah.
that.
I don't think you need to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you need
So
to get there because, look, Grissom does not have a future on this team. He's out of options.
no.
You could easily DFA Campbell. They're going to DFA Sanchez. That's three spots. Right.
Toro's a non-tender.
Toro's a not on, never mind a non-tender. I mean, to get him on the roster this year to get a look is what I'm saying. Like, if you want to get a look instead
Oh
of
yeah,
calling
yeah.
up a
Sorry.
Birdie or a Kelly, like
Hmm. Yeah, there's
they could
ways.
they can easily make room for him. Like the
Yeah.
same way they can make room for a Sandlin. Like you could make room for Hoppy too if you wanted.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think you see both. That's why I think it might
No,
just be
it's
like
probably just Sandlin.
it's probably just Sandlin. But I don't know.
Presuming it takes.
It's something I'm watching with Hoppy.
Mhm.
Next one Fitz, Richard Fitz. Kind of I feel like every outing for him is pretty similar. Like he's going to miss bats. It's going to be pretty inefficient. He's going to give up a ton of loud contact. And the question is, are they solo home runs? Or are they like, 2, 3 run home runs? And in this case, in this game, he got super, he gave up two earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks in 4 innings, 8 strikeouts though, and he had 1 home run, but 86 pitches, 53 strikes. But yes, 13 whiffs, struggled to locate his fastball, gave up a bunch of loud contact there. Changeup was pretty good. Sweeper flashed some potential, but was pretty inconsistent. I just think it's kind of the same like story with him, and it's why he's not at the major league level anymore. It's just hard for him to work deep into games with his profile. And this was surprising me. Do you know how many innings he's thrown this year?
How many innings Fitz has thrown?
Yeah,
Well, he missed time.
yeah. The
So
number was way lower than I expected. It's
yeah,
like
I mean he
60.
missed a
It's
lot.
like 60. It's like 65.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of time. He missed a lot of time with that injury.
Yeah, but it's just
It's
he
easy to
just
forget. And then when the way they kind of like had the weirdness with when he came back, that didn't help either.
no. But I like he kind of is what he is right now, and
Yeah.
I still do wonder if he's a reliever at the end of the day.
I
I
think
think the stuff.
you keep him as starting depth at least going into next year.
Oh, definitely. But I
But
just think that long term is bet he might be most valuable as a
you
reliever.
see a situation where they go into next year with a Worcester rotation of like Harrison Fitz early. I
Sandlin will be
guess
back in the rotation probably.
yeah, probably Sandlin back in the rotation. Although
And
I
Toley.
do see a world where he comes up this year and doesn't go back down.
Yeah. And
Um,
Toley will be in the rotation too.
Totally will be in that rotation too. And you just look at it and it's like, do we really need him as depth? Like,
Yeah.
could he be, when they're in camp and he's ramping up and they're like, does Alex Cora say like, I'd like to see what it looks like for an inning or two? I don't know.
So yeah, speaking of for an inning or two, David Samlin in relief.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
It it was great for the first inning. The second inning was very rough, and he got saved by one of the best catches I've seen this year by Trace Thompson. But the first inning was insane. Like, what do you expect? 1, 2, 3, topped out at 99. Just big time velocity. He was fastball slider, basically 2 pitch guy, which I liked. I kind of cut out a lot of the fluff in his arsenal that as a starter is necessary, but as a reliever you don't really need. Then in the second inning, he kind of like started throwing more cutters. He started mixing in some other secondaries, and he gave up 3 straight hits to start the seventh. And he got saved, as I said, because like Trace Thompson caught a ball that was in the eye or was in like the hedgerow. That would have been,
really?
I think, a grand slam or
There was a
3-run home
bustle
run.
in the hedgerow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it would have been. I think it would have been a 3-run home run. But that saved the line, so he ended up going 2 innings. but he made like 4 mistake pitches, most of them in the second inning, and he got punished on 3 of the 4 of them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of what happens with him. If he's commanding his stuff, it's good. But if he's struggling to locate, it can be some loud contact. But at the end of the day, I just think kind of what I was talking about earlier. Who was it with? Oh, with Justin and Garcia. Salen brings a ceiling and I think can inject some energy into the team that I could see still him being a viable option to bring up. I just would prefer it in a 1 inning role. I don't really want him in a multi-inning role. I think he's a 1 inning. Just let him max out for 1 inning and just cut it at that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good role for him down the stretch. I mean, it's certainly more ceiling to that. Like, is there any reason to think he can't do what Isaiah Campbell?
No, well, and that's the thing. No. It's like I think there's a bunch of guys that could do that same job.
Yeah, I mean, it's the interesting thing is when Slayton comes back, right? Like you're looking at that bullpen and like, who is Sandlin replacing there? Like,
well, he's not going to replace Hicks though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
because Hicks makes too much money. It would have to be like either Chris Murphy.
It would be Murphy. It would probably be Murphy if they decide they don't need 4 lefties.
Or he's the extra guy.
Oh, in September. I guess that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Those are the 2 options.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and this kind of I'll wait, but it's like if you look at what they did with Penrod last year, Penrod got like 10 appearances out of the bullpen before they called him up. Like they are not going to call Sandlin up next week. It's going to be September probably, but before they call him up.
I think though that you can't really read too much into that because I think it's different when you're in a pennant race.
I guess that's true.
They were out of it last year when they were making that decision. Whereas this year, if they're
were they out of it by that point?
I mean, they were not.
When did they fall out of it last year? I mean, they weren't leading the wild card.
That's my point. They weren't leading the wild card with a chance at the division last year when they were doing that. So I think that I think like timing can change if you're in a pennant race.
But the thing is, I think I would say that my point stands though. That this isn't something they're going to do after like 3 bullpen.
No, there's no need to either. Like you have Birdie, you have
last year they said they wanted him to do a back-to-back, like because they didn't want his first back-to-back to be in the majors, right? Yeah. Like that's something I could see them wanting to do with Sandlin.
You have other depth guys who I think they would go to first. It's just I think that the ceiling again is what Sandlin could bring. And then speaking of, just quickly, Giovanni Moran, his numbers are good.
Yeah, Moran's out. His he gets ahead of guys. He's been getting a ton of misses, but the stuff
just doesn't do anything. They have Brendan Bernardino there. They have a bunch of lefties. They already have 4 on the roster. I just don't really know how he fits in with the group they have. If he was a righty, maybe more interesting, but I just think it's fine. It's like a solid up and down guy profile to me, but I don't think with where the Red Sox are at, he's probably the 6th or 7th lefty on the depth chart.
Behind the 4 who are up and Bernardino.
Yeah. And then, it depends on like maybe Tuli, someone like that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Speaking of Tuli,
of Tuli.
So that was today's endeavor was to go see him. And, he got absolutely nuked in the first inning.
Yeah.
It was like laughably. It was not his fault. I should preface this because if you weren't watching the game, he gave up 6 runs in the first inning, 2 home runs. He also should have been out of the inning after about 10 pitches. First batter of the game was Jonathan Clase, who's got MLB experience. He popped out. Second batter, Andres Jimenez, who is a rehabbing MLB guy. Totally got him to swing through 2 pitches, cutter and a fastball. And then eventually, I think it was like a 2-2 count. He just did his I'm a professional hitter thing and just slapped a pretty good located fastball, 96 mile an hour down and away to left field for a single, like a very weak contact. Not a lot you can do. The next batter was Michael Stefanovic, and he hit a ground ball right at Mikey Romero that should have been a routine double play ball, and Romero just booted it. And to say things spiraled from there is an understatement. The next 4 hitters were walk, grand slam, single, which I think was caught. I haven't seen a replay, but it was weird. Like one ump said it was a catch, the other said it hit the ground, and they ended up deciding it hit the ground.
Weird.
And then that's another home run. And the 2 home runs were awful pitches. One was a fastball right down the middle. The other was a cutter that just sat belt high and did absolutely nothing. Like bad pitches, nothing you like. It's gonna happen. But he also should have been out of the inning. That's the tricky thing in evaluating is like this inning should have been over, but he also after that got
But it
nuked.
still
So
happened. Like it didn't not happen.
exactly, and so his line is bad. I mean, his final line was 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Oh, and I should add, he also had like 7 whiffs in the first inning. You saw the potential, and it was I think 5 of them were on the fastball, 1 was on the cutter, and 1 was on the slider. Like the fastball is a premium pitch. And then after that, he settled down. And next 4 innings, he gave up 3 hits, no runs. They were all weak contact, like bloop singles, 1 strikeout, just pounded the strike zone. Like he only threw 72 pitches in 5 innings. And you compare that, like Kyle Harrison was at 99 pitches in 5 innings. Early was at, I think, like 878. Someone else was at 80 something. Like he was very pitch efficient. He was only going to go 70 pitches. I thought he was only going to get like 1 batter in the 5th inning, and he ended up getting the entire inning done in like 8 pitches. So after that, he was really impressive, and it was kind of what I expected from him. Just fair warning, and I think I mentioned this last episode. If you look at Baseball Savant for pitch classifications for these guys, it's wrong.
You did say this, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've been seeing people like citing his like whiffs and everything. That those numbers are just that data's not wrong. It's his cutter is being classified as a 4-seam. He's not throwing a sinker. Like there's a lot wrong with it. And it's not gonna. They don't go up and clean it up. I don't think because he doesn't have any major league experience. So I went through and manually did it based on what I saw. And there's 2 pitches that are weird, and I can't tell what they are. Both watching on video.
Are those the 2 that registered as the like cutters or sinkers? There were 2 pitches that were weird. I saw.
No, it's if you look at like the illustrator of the pitch movement, there's 2 pitches that are in between a cutter and a fastball, and they're both. If you watch the video, they were both like bad pitches that ended up way out of the zone. So I don't know what the intent was there. They were like they were cutter velocity, but they had fastball shape. So it was like
it's funny because I did listen to an interview he did with Emma Tiedemann when he was still in Portland. The Portland Sea Dogs have a podcast with interviews now, and he did say they were working on some other new stuff too. So maybe
I think that's
add a pitch.
well, no, I know what that pitch is. I'm going to get to it in a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But fastball, I had him throwing 39 of them, so 54% of the time. I had 9 whiffs, which is a 43% whiff rate, which is insane. That's like, I mean, that's top of the mark. Like, I don't know if you saw Lance Brzezowski, who we talked about obviously in the past, does a great job. He had a tweet about Tuli that he from his AA data, and it was he had the best. He said that Payton Tuli's fastball might be the best performing pitch in the minors. 23% swinging strike rate, which is number 1 in minor league baseball among 4-seamers thrown 200 plus times, and then 43% zone miss rate. And neither of those are whiff rate, but I mean, when I was talking about Kyle Harrison, I said 29% whiff rate would rank 4th in Major League Baseball among 4-seamers with like 200. So basically, starters 4-seamers. Bullies was at 43%, so pretty good. Bullies fastball is a nasty pitch. The slider, he got 3 whiffs on 6 swings. I had cutter, he got 1 whiff on 6 swings. Changeup, 1 whiff on 3 swings. And then the new pitch that is not, this is another one. Savant doesn't have this pitch at all, is a curveball. And it's definitely a curveball. You can look at the shape and it's completely different than the slider. Than the slider. And the curveball is new. I've never seen him throw a curveball before. I look back, he did not throw one in Greenville. He did not throw one in spring training. So I'm going to guess that is the new pitch that he's been working on. And I thought it was actually pretty good. He didn't get any whiffs on it, but he threw it in the zone a bunch. Like I think he only threw 1 for a ball, then 2 called strikes, 2 foul balls, 1 in play out, 1 in play no out. So like it was around the zone, it was competitive, it had pretty good shape. He snapped off 1 really good one that was a strikeout looking. And it's pretty interesting to me because if he can get I did not love the changeup in this outing. I thought the changeup was the weakest of his secondary pitches. 1 good one, the rest were pretty bad. There's been a lot of progress, I would say, with his breaking ball feel. The slider flashed some potential, as I said, 50% whiff rate you like. And I thought the cutter was fine as like, a get ahead pitch. He threw 1 really bad one that was one of the home runs. But I think that, the total package, there's a chance for him to get to, multiple average secondaries, which I don't know if I was there earlier in the season, which is pretty encouraging to me. And if he can just get one, like if he can just get to 55 with one of these pitches, 50 with another, and then have a couple fringy offerings when he's going to have a 70 fastball that's going to play as like a mid rotation starter at least. So I think overall, even though he gave up some loud contact in that first, I love the way he settled down and battled and lasted 5 innings, because after that first, I didn't think he might not get out of the second, and so I thought that he was very professional the way he handled himself, and you can see it. Like if they are playing for ceiling and they really want to go for it in terms of like injecting something into the team, that this is the young stud prospect coming up. Totally in the bullpen would be fascinating because I mean, as I said, 43% whiff rate on his fastball, like hit that in a 1 inning roll. And this is the other thing. He threw his hardest pitch of the night with his final pitch.
Yeah.
He was like 92 to his fastball was like 93 to 96, and then he popped out, or 93 to 97, then he popped out 97-7 with his final pitch of the game. And so if he could reach back in a 1 inning stint, I'd be really interested to see what it looks like. And yeah. I think it could be really good in that. It's just a question of, do they want to start the clock this early?
True. Yeah. We'll see.
Sorry. No, I was just going to just run through. I forgot I didn't say the velo. So Cutter is like 89 to 91 ish. Changeup is like 87, 88. It like he threw one at 91 too, but yeah, it's mostly like 87, 88, 89. Curveball is like 80 to 84. And then slider is like 84 to 87. So there's definitely some differentiation between the two, or between the pitches. And curveball and the slider had a little overlap in the velo range, but you can tell the shape is that radically different that it's very obvious which is which.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the point I was just going to make on Tuli, I mean, the if you make the pro and con chart about whether to call him up or not, it's something that I was talking about with folks in our forum this weekend, and I think it looks something like this. It's like the pros are, he's a potential high leverage lefty, given how much an outlier pitch his fastball is. He seems to have the mentality for that role. I don't know if that's how you feel, having now seen him twice this year, but everything that I've seen indicates that he would fit well in the role.
Well, it's like, this is like the fourth time I've seen him this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
including spring training, that was, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So do you agree or not? Or are you just gonna?
Yeah. Sorry. I was I do.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it would be a good use for, like, he may not have many innings yet left. He had, I think he's at like 81 now for the year, Ian, after today. 81 and 2/3, I believe, because he went 5, right? So
he's 70 pitches is basically what he's been throwing his last like
right.
4 or 5
but
starts.
The reason I mentioned that is that last year, Matt Duffy, Connolly Early, and Blake Wehunt were the 3 starters from that year, from the previous year's draft, who were healthy all year. And they got to around 100 innings. So if Tuli's only got 20, maybe 30 innings left that they want him to get to, it wouldn't be a bad use of those innings to have him use them in the bullpen, as opposed to in the starting rotation where he's probably got 4 starts left.
Yeah, so basically, because if you map the schedule out, 4 starts only gets him to like the end of August. So they'd have to shut him down a month early.
Yeah, so. And look, innings aren't the be all end all. Tuli is a different player than Matt Duffy and Connolly Early and Blake Wehunt, right? So we're not saying his cutoff is also going to be 100, but at the same time, I'm sure they don't want him getting to 130, right? So we'll see how that goes. Getting some exposure to attacking MLB hitters before going back to AAA next year to continue working on refining his arsenal wouldn't be a bad thing. The cons, he takes up a 40-man roster spot all offseason that they don't necessarily need to have taken up all offseason otherwise. Not a concern that someone like Sandlin or even an Uberstein has. No real relief experience. He's never really done it, so you don't know how it's going to look. It probably looks fine. I'm not super concerned about it, but it is a little bit of a risk. By the way, I'm taking up the roster spot. Like, is it worth potentially losing like Mullins, Uberstein, or Hoppy in the Rule 5 draft to add him now? It probably is, but it's just, that's if we're listing all the cons. Not a big deal, but he winds up using an option next year when he otherwise might not. I'm not too worried about it if he uses all his options. Something went sideways. And I couldn't care less about this, but it does increase what you're paying him next year. Personally, I think great, pay him more. But we'll see. I mean, again, it comes down to like, who is he replacing? Is it enough of an upgrade? I think it potentially is, and it probably is, but we don't know. So these are all considerations they're going to have. So we'll see. I do think they need to make the call on that soon, though, if they're going to do it, Ian, because you need to give him probably 2-3 weeks in a bullpen role before you're looking at calling him up.
Well, and I think the main reason it probably, I would still put the odds in under 20%, maybe even
Yeah,
under
I think
10%,
that's where I'm at too. Yeah.
is the left-handedness, the thing we talked about earlier. They have 4 guys on the current roster who are lefties, and they have Brennan Bernardino, who's been fine this year. He's a solid, MLB lefty in the minors. I just think it'd be tough to add a guy and just bypass Bernardino if you're bringing up another lefty.
It gets a lot more likely if they don't go get Mats at the deadline.
Yeah. I worry if he was right-handed.
Or if he was
If Tuli
right-handed.
was
Yeah.
right-handed, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I do think that the left-handedness, the having 5 guys ahead of him makes it is a little tricky. I mean, this is barring no injury, assuming no injuries, of course. But yeah.
Yeah, injuries could completely change the calculus, right? Like if you lose, I don't even want to put the idea out there, but if like Whitlock goes down, like that changes a lot, right? If Slayton has a setback again, although it seems
Oh,
like
I was thinking more with the lefties.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, just generally getting arms up becomes a different proposition. So
I don't know. I just can't see them going to 5 lefties though. They just they
yeah,
just
but the thing is, you could just swap them out for Murphy because there's more of a ceiling there to work later
I
innings,
guess, yeah.
you know. But it just changes the calculus, is my point. All right. Anything else on Worcester, or should we move on to some emails? All right, let's move on to some emails. Again, if you want to hit us up, it's podcast@soxprospects.com. We're going to talk about what you all want to hear about. Our first question, Ian, comes from Daniel, and he is asking about Justin Gonzalez. If I can get this stupid document to scroll. He says, hey, Chris and Ian, I'm going through the Red Sox prospect group, and Justin Gonzalez really stood out to me as someone who is strongly progressing, at least offensively, in his age 18 season at Single A. I was wondering if you foresee him getting a call up to High A for the last month of the season to get used to a new league and surroundings so that his acclimation is as smooth as possible for the 2026 season. I understand that he's only 18, but I like the idea of getting his feet wet for a few weeks with a new competition, possibly having his living situation locked in for next spring, etc. Having him spend full seasons at High A and then Double A as he did in Low A feels right as long as he continues this trajectory. Just wondering your thoughts on the merits of calling him up before the end of the season. And I guess, Ian, that could potentially go for anyone. Some things to keep in mind. One thing that's in here that I realized, living situation, the teams provide living quarters now. So that's not a thing anymore. That's just the team provides apartments for guys. I don't know, Ian. I could see it either way. As far as a call up, it is worth noting that Greenville is making a playoff push, whereas Salem is probably not. Salem would need to catch fire to get back in their playoff race, but Greenville is, as of today, tied for a playoff spot for the second half. So I could see it. He's playing corner outfield, so I think they could potentially make room for him in that outfield. So I could see it. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, he's still super young. He's 18, but I mean, since the beginning of July, he's been raking, honestly. Frankly, since he had a little bit of slow adjustment at first, but yeah, since in his last 29 games, so since July 1st, 325 batting average, 385 on base, 487 slug, 10 walks, 22 strikeouts, only 2 home runs, but he's hitting the ball really well. And you look the underlying data for him for the most part is really good. It's trending in the right direction too with everything but like chase rate. I think the only things that really stand out, it's just a super high ground ball percentage. It's, Roman Anthony-esque, Christian Campbell-esque, above 50% ground ball rate. So that's something that you like to see him elevate more, given that the exit velocities are insane for an 18-year-old. Hard hit rate's 45%, which is crazy for 45% hard hit and 107 90th for an 18-year-old is nuts.
Yeah.
That's actually insane. But yeah, I mean, what he's been doing in high A, or excuse me, low A, is very impressive. And I think that especially if they're pushing for playoff, why not? I mean, I think it
Yeah.
definitely, you could see it.
Yep.
Him in Greenville, by the way, he's gonna rake in that park.
Well, I was gonna say, because Salem depresses home runs, like
Yeah,
Greenville does the opposite.
yeah.
He's gonna be going apartment shopping fairly often, I
If he
think, in that
can just
ballpark.
add some lift to his swing in the offseason, oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Our next question is from Matt in Texas, and he says, with injuries to all the pitchers this year, I'm starting to think about the rotation for 2026. It looks like Chris Murphy was already being set up as a bullpen guy before his Tommy John injury, but do you see them possibly stretching him out over the winter to become a starter? Easy no for me, Ian. What do you think? I think that ship sailed.
No, he's a reliever to me. I think
Yeah.
that's that ship has sailed, as you said.
Yep. Next question is from Sam, and I include this question, Ian, to make more of a point than to really get into the merits of the question itself. But we can talk about that as well. Sam says, "Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of the show. I was wondering if Luis Andujar is someone I should be getting excited about. Is it way too early?" Luis Andujar, for those who are wondering, is a third baseman in the DSL who, the day he sent this, hit 2 home runs in one game. In a very small sample size, he's been very good this year. But Andujar is a guy who signed this January for a bonus of, I've got it right here, $20,000. He could be something. He may not be something. It's like a 50 plate appearance sample. I think let's just wait.
He's
But
also old for the level. Looks like he signed late.
Is he 19?
No,
No,
he's eight. He's basically about to be 18.
Okay. I mean, he signed in January, like in the normal
Yeah, I mean, but
signing
when he
period. But
signed, he
is
was
he
already
late?
17.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Was he
his
already
birthday's in
17?
September, so he
Okay.
was already 17 when he signed. So
Yeah. I mean, he's not like Josue Brito old, where it's like he's
no,
19 and older than everybody. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like we got to wait till the guys come across. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm just looking like there's nothing really that stands out too much in the underlying data from the DSL for him. Um, like good approach, it seems, or at least like, good contact skills, but not a lot of impact. Granted, I'm seeing he does have 4 home runs this year. So, but yeah, I agree with you. It's mostly one of those things that you kind of wait and see until someone comes
yeah,
stateside.
don't get too
With
excited
guys like
about a
him,
DSL guy in 50 plate appearances. Like,
I also like it wouldn't surprise me at all if he's not someone who comes stateside next year. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, who
that's the kind of
knows?
stuff that can happen. Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, my bet is he would, but you never know because he's hitting like
Yep.
third.
Oh,
So
is he hitting? I don't know what I don't really,
yeah,
because the DSL is so, it's just hard to evaluate guys down there. I don't honestly pay a ton of attention to it, where guys are hitting and things like that.
yeah, he's hitting third and fourth most games. So
Yeah.
probably, but you never know. Um, a lot of people, Ian, I don't think I've ever gotten as much feedback, including from like friends who listen to the show, than like on the right first baseman thing. Like people are shook about this, and we have a number of emails about it. The first one's from Tyler, who asks, "Can you help me understand why Christian Campbell being right at first base is not an issue, whereas with Blaze Jordan, Vaughn Grissom, or CJ Crone, it is a major hindrance to their value? Is this entirely due to the projection of his bat? If so, is there a minimum level of offensive production where the bat is enough to carry the limited flexibility? Using Vladdy Jr. as an example, is his 850 OPS as of August 5th enough, or is the bar even higher than that?" Tyler. Um, I'm curious on your take on this, Ian. I know I've got thoughts too, but
Oh, if Christian Campbell's a first baseman, it's definitely worrying.
yeah, it's a
The
problem.
value. Yeah,
It's
no,
not good.
his value at first base takes a pretty big hit unless he absolutely rakes. Um, but yeah, I mean, since he's still playing some second base, I don't think we're lumping him in there yet. But no, it's definitely a concern. Like if he ends up as a long term first baseman, the projection changes pretty considerably with him. Um, as far as the bar, I don't really think there's a bar, but I think like 850 is, if you're above 800, I think you're in pretty good shape, like with OPS. So, but yeah, Vladdy, I mean, that's obviously, the higher end of the spectrum there. But yeah, no, it's if I think if Campbell is a full time first baseman heading into next season, it's his value takes a very big hit.
Yeah, I mean, look at like things like OPS plus or WRC plus. Like with Vlad, he's a 141 OPS plus on the year. Like that's 40% larger. That's 40% ahead of the average for a major league hitter. So like you need to be that good to play in that role. So yeah, I think it's not ideal if that's what Campbell turns into, but we shall see. Um, our next question, just to hit on something we've mentioned in a previous episode, Ian Jacob asked, sorry to rehash old news, but I haven't been following the draft and draft signings for super long, and I keep hearing about the Judd Fabian situation, but I only understand bits and pieces of why he didn't sign with Boston. An explanation would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. We can answer pretty quickly. The Red Sox drafted Fabian in the second round when he had a deal to go to Baltimore with the next pick. It was the next pick, right, Ian?
Allegedly.
Well, quote unquote, allegedly.
I don't think it was the next pick. I thought it was a few picks later, but it might have
Was it
been
a
the
few
next
picks
pick.
later? Yeah,
Let me
it was
check.
definitely very close in time in the second round. Um, the Red Sox apparently wanted to, I got to make sure I say what's out there. Um, the Red Sox wanted to give him a bonus that was less than what he had agreed to with the Orioles, and Fabian and his agent turned that down.
It was the next pick. You were right.
Okay, thank you. I got worried you were telling me I said something I wasn't supposed to. But he basically like refused to sign for less than what his deal was with the Orioles.
And the Red Sox didn't value him at that number.
And the Red Sox didn't want to sign him to that number. And in fact, they didn't have that much left.
Yeah, they couldn't have.
After they signed everyone else because they didn't want to give him that. It's not like they painted themselves into a corner. So yeah, he wound up not signing and going back into the draft, and he wound up with Baltimore the following season at less than he would have gotten with from the Red Sox. So that's kind of where that turned out. Is that everything, Ian? I think I got it all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question is from Aaron, who says, I had a question about a potential offseason trade scenario involving Joey Ryan. Assuming the reports are accurate that the Red Sox were willing to include Payton Tuli in a deal for Ryan at the deadline, how might the shift to the offseason impact their willingness to move him now? With Tuli recently promoted to AAA and now one step closer to the big leagues, do you think the timing makes the front office more reluctant to include him in any package? If he continues to perform at the level he has, would you still expect him to be included in a deal for Ryan? Or does his progress not change much and a trade for Ryan would still require Tuli given the current depth in the farm system? Thanks, Aaron. Thank you for the email, Aaron. Ian, I don't think anything has changed in terms of Tuli's value. It's not like they didn't know they were about to promote him to AAA when they offered to include him in the deal. I think the question is like, what package does it take to get him, and are they willing to make that offer given that they couldn't get it done at the deadline this year?
Oh, I think that with those deals that you have to think about, arguably the price should be lower because he's going to have less control in the offseason. And you look no further than the Crochet deal. At the deadline, White Sox were asking for one of Mayer or Anthony in the trade. And in the offseason, they didn't get either of them, or they didn't get one of those guys. So if I'm the Red Sox, I probably wouldn't put Payton Tuli on the in the trade in the offseason. The reason why is because I'd much rather just sign a free agent like Dylan Cease. Like, if I'm the Red Sox in the offseason, I spend money on a pitcher. I'm not trading. The farm system is pretty thin at the top already, and you're going to have to give up 2 or 3 of your top guys to get at minimum to get Ryan. I'd much rather just go sign Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, Michael King, one of those guys. Personally, I just think that's a much better. You save the money with the Devers trade. Now go use it. Basically, is how I would look at it with a pitcher in the offseason. So I assume they will revisit the Ryan trade talks, but and I would assume because this is the issue, and I think we talked about it a little bit on the deadline. They don't have a position player really to carry a deal right now. Like they don't have a guy at the caliber of Kyle Teal or even Braden Montgomery that they had last year. Yeah, prospect.
I mean, it's like if you find a team that really likes Franklin Arias, then I think you roll with it. But
I just don't know if left. I don't know if they're going to find a match with a team that likes him and has like a controllable starting pitcher. So I think that maybe the best pathway for an offseason deal for a trade is probably going to involve one of Duran or Abreu. And if you're doing that, I don't think you're giving up Tuli also.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I agree. Like, look, if Arias Garcia was enough to get it done, Ryan is on the Red Sox right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's right. Our next email comes from Tommy, who has a question about something we were talking about earlier. He says, I'm not sure if the Red Sox could have matched the offer the Mariners made for Josh Naylor, but if so, do you think the Diamondbacks took that deal simply because Tyler Locklear is more MLB ready at first base? Like the Red Sox don't necessarily have that. Who do you think can kind of take that next step to be the first baseman of the future for the club? Is it Christian Campbell or can Garcia do it? First things first, Ian, as far as the trade, I think the Red Sox could have given them someone they liked. I don't think they did. I don't think they necessarily needed a first baseman.
Well, the other issue is Tyler Locklear wasn't in the Josh Naylor trade.
He wasn't.
Nope.
Okay.
He was in the Suarez trade.
Well, okay. Well, there you go.
But yes, they
I was going to say that didn't sound right. I should have looked it up.
They can easily, they could have matched the Josh Naylor trade. I mean, as for whatever reason, doesn't seem like they were that interested in it. Didn't see they doesn't seem like they were that interested in a first baseman at all.
No.
So yeah, that's
and as far as the first baseman of the future, like I think that's an open question.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
I mean, don't forget about Casas. Like,
yeah,
Casas isn't dead.
I think if I had to put a favorite on the opening day first baseman for next year, I'd probably put someone outside the organization right now. But
I think ahead of Campbell.
Yeah.
Even though Campbell's got the contract, that's the only reason why I think it might be Campbell. Because if you've got a healthy Mayer and presuming Story doesn't opt out, like you've got the up the middle defense, like you've got your second baseman.
I think Campbell might be better suited for the outfield than first base.
Yeah, but how the hell did you get him in the outfield?
I mean,
I don't necessarily disagree, but
he's a right-handed hitter. I think that's gives him at least helps in terms of finding a way to play him in the outfield. But yeah, no, it's tricky. I mean, but I think if you can move Yoshida, you can free up DH. You could rotate the outfielders through DH, things like that. I think there's creative ways, but yeah.
Next question comes from Ethan, who he says, what percentage chance would you put on Dorian Soto being ranked in the top 10 coming out of spring training next year? What about top 5? And what about Sadbiel Delzine and Hector Ramos in the top 15 for those unfamiliar? Dorian Soto is a shortstop in the DSL. He's currently our number 11 ranked prospect. So like percentage chance is very high. He doesn't even need to move up all that much. That Soto would move into the top 10. Top 5, I don't see. It's possible. I guess it's possible. I could see that. Because you got right now our top 5 is Tuli, Arias, Perales, Witherspoon, Password.
I think it'd be tricky.
If we like him in camp.
I don't know if I would want to shove a guy up that much though, just because it's like it can take time for guys coming over to adjust state time. I mean, look at Justin Gonzalez. Like it took him a couple months to get going. So,
but Gonzalez wasn't starting from 11 is the thing, right? So
no, but I think it would be tricky, especially to pass like big league ready pitchers, guys like Early even. I think that would just it's a little bit of. I think he'll probably be in the top 10 if he has a good camp, but I don't pushing top 5 would be tricky. He'd have to the way would be he shows up and it's like this guy's going to Salem from opening day. He's that good.
I mean, I see a world where he's 10th at the end of the season.
I could see that, but the pathway for him is he comes into camp and it's like, oh wait, we're putting this guy on the opening day roster in Salem. We're not even waiting the first extra month. Like he's that good. Which and we'll see. I mean, it's hard to say since we've never seen him.
As far as Ramos and Delzine, Ramos is a shortstop. We've got ranked at 28 right now. Sadbiel Delzine, a right-handed pitcher, we've got ranked at 25. I could see it. I don't know. Out of camp feels aggressive for those two. So I'd say that's a very slight chance that they would move up that many spots that quickly. It's possible for both, though. So
I think it's just tough because those guys are probably going to start in the FCL, so you're not going to see them playing until like May. Whatever.
Well, but he's saying coming out of camp anyway.
Well, no, that's my point. Is that I don't think they're going to play enough in games. Like Delzine,
because that's the thing is the guys now that are going to start an extended spring training don't play that much in camp anymore.
Exactly. Like Delzine is not going to probably pitch in camp
because we didn't even see Dalvinson Reyes pitch. No. We just saw him do pull downs. Or I shouldn't even say we. I should say you because I had left by then.
Travieso, same thing. Fajardo, same thing. None of those guys pitched when we were down there, so I don't think we'll see Delzine.
Yeah,
we won't Ramos see Delzine, and Soto. Like Justin Gonzalez played pretty much every day, so maybe those guys get more at bats. So I think it's a higher likelihood with the position players. But even unless like they're a high caliber player like that they think has a chance to maybe break camp with Salem. For the most part, those guys are probably going to be relegated to like late inning pinch hitting duties.
But it's like, even like, look at, for example, like we have Nd Azakar right now at 21, who we really like. And he's basically that guy for this year. Right. So,
well, but he was playing more, I think.
Well, but that's my point. Is like, even now in August,
Oh, I
Azakar
see what you're
isn't in
saying.
our
Yeah,
top
yeah.
15.
I see what
So
you're saying. Yeah.
those guys breaking into the top 15 would have to be like really perform. I mean, they would have to be like Justin Gonzalez.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm looking at it like Fajardo is probably going to end the season in the top 15 if I had to guess, or close to it.
I think that sounds right, because he probably
And
passes Paez.
but that took him the entire season and him shoving to get there.
Yeah, but
Which
again,
also
he also
maybe, I mean,
started
maybe,
lower.
but it's also could be a reflection on like, because as I think I've said before, there are teams who probably have, or who have him, I would venture to guess, close to the, or in the top 10 of the system already. So yeah.
Yeah. We got another question, and it's from Paul about first base, where he says he was surprised to see Justin Garcia, Justinson Garcia, sorry, getting work at first base. Got me thinking about the position in the future. Asking about the most likely outcome, but I think we kind of have addressed that one. So just wanted to say thank you for the email, Paul. Another right first baseman question. This one from Matt, where he says, you've discussed the declining value of right first baseman, particularly for an analytic-driven front office like the Red Sox, but you've also mentioned how Campbell is most likely moving to first base. Unless I'm missing something, this combination seems really concerning, so I have a few questions. One, is there any long-term hope for Campbell at other positions, such as third base or the outfield? I think we just mentioned it might be the outfield. How's he looked? We've talked about that. If an outfielder is traded, could Campbell be an option as the super utility piece several emailers in the past have pitched Rafaela for, in a platoon with Mayer, fourth outfielder, keeping Bregman off his feet? Is there a chance? Answer to that question, Ian, is no, right? I mean, he's not good enough defensively to do that. I want him picking a position and staying there. Next question is there a chance that another team sees upside for Campbell at another position, and would that make him an obvious trade candidate if his only pathway with the Red Sox is first?
His contract is hard to trade. Not that it's a bad contract, just that if you're a team, you don't want to take on guaranteed money like that.
Well,
you'd much rather have the flexibility of a guy who you know is on the minimum.
I think I would also say, Ian, it makes it hard for the Red Sox to trade him right now. Maybe another year or so, fine, but it's not a great look to sign a guy to that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And immediately flip him.
Yeah, it's not a good
like
look.
That's getting brought up in every future negotiation like that you have.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't, but it's a consideration. As far as does another team see upside for him at another position, like if another team's got an easier path for him to play like left field, I could see it. But again, who knows? And then the last part is Campbell came into the year as the number 2 prospect. If you were doing rankings now and none of the big 3 had graduated and Campbell was locked in at first base, where would he rank? Would he fall below Tuli given his positional value? Just trying to get a sense of how far his stock has fallen due to the defense. I mean, I think it's safe to say he's below Mayer at this point, Ian, but that's almost more because Mayer looked good when he was up.
I mean, the player he is right now, I'd have him like in the Arias Garcia tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I said it earlier, for the rest of the season, I'd rather have Garcia. So,
but does that mean you would long term?
Is Christian Campbell is a first base only guy?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you say if he's locked in at first base, that's different than what he is, I think, because I don't think he is locked in at first base yet.
No.
So, yeah, it's an interesting question. Maybe it's a thought exercise for the offseason that we have.
I think it's tricky though to be like, if the big 3 hadn't graduated, it's like, well, no, those guys like Anthony and Mayer did graduate, so you can't really compare Campbell.
Well, and even if they hadn't, like, and you're factoring in what they've done in the majors, like it's, of course they're ahead of him. Like,
yeah. But the thing is, Mayer hasn't like exactly set the world on fire at the majors. He's just played much better defense, which obviously matters a lot. But offensively, Myers basically he's hit some home runs, but the average and the contact skills haven't really been there yet, which is completely,
which is fine.
It's fine.
All right. Well, thank you all for your emails. Again, it's podcast@soxprospects.com. Ian, anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, just quickly, I just wanted to shout out all the people I met at the Woo Sox game today. I happened to be sitting with some fans of the site and the podcast, and just wanted to shout out Sean in particular. I had a fun convo with him. So thank you all for your support, and just really appreciate you guys enjoying the content we're putting out, because we have a lot of fun doing it. And it's definitely rewarding to meet people in person who are following our stuff. It's pretty weird feeling, honestly, especially when I try to hide out when I go to games. But no, we had a fun convo today. So I was glad. It was fun to see a lot of people just came out just to see Payton Tuli. And I thought that was pretty cool that, cool. These people are buying, single game tickets to see Payton Tuli, because we've been hyping him up. They've been hearing about him, and wanted to go see him in person. So it was always good to meet people, and just thank you as always for your support.
Yeah. And by the way, this is me talking and not Ian, but like, if you say hi to us, like, don't be offended if we like lock in when the game is happening. Like we don't need to like have you shut up and not talk to us at all, but like, don't be offended if we're not like super talkative because we're focused when the game is happening. Just because I've been in that position in the past, and I feel bad because I'm like, oh, thank you for saying hi. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, thanks for coming over. But I'm literally here to watch this one guy. I want to watch this one guy. So that happens. But yeah, no, that's cool that they did that. So on that note, Ian, let's wrap it up. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for saying hi at games. Thanks to our podcast producer, Daniel Fox. You can follow the site on social media at Sox Prospects. You can follow Ian at Ian Kundle. You can follow me at SP Chris Hatfield. Thank you to the Ludlow Thieves for our intro and outro music, All the Money. An appropriate song this episode in honor of Roman Anthony. You can find their stuff wherever it is that you listen to music. And thank you for all of our supporters on patreon.com/Sox Prospects. This episode, we want to shout out James P. McMahon, Jim Tuttle, Brian Rose, Jake O'Donnell, Rivers, Brian Cashman, John Hersey, Chance Stevenson, Ben Wadman, and Brennan Kaizen. Thank you all, as well as all of our supporters on patreon.com/Sox Prospects. It's going to be an interesting stretch run. We'll be talking about all that and more with the web's best coverage of the Red Sox organization soon, so keep your ears to the feed. Thank you, everybody, for listening.